No be. What you talk now?
No, but even you, if you see prophets, you automatically think authority. You clearly automatically thought that. You automatically thought that the reason she didn't add the ESS is because she wanted to command authority, which means that you think the prophet as opposed to the prophetess
honestly, if I
commands more authority. That's so your feeding into exactly what she's trying to fight against.
If I see prophet before a woman, I'm sorry to cut you. I wouldn't even think anything. I'll just think
because it's just like actor. You have male and female actors.
I know that we are trying to
Thank you.
Blend every gender, like make sure that we are very open. You understand, but you have to ensure that there's a fine line between when somebody wants to cross.
I feel like a man and a woman can do any job as long as up until the point where
you always feel as
up until the point where it borders on biology. Yes. Okay. So personally, I feel like, for example, that bus conductor one, I don't know. I just think biologically speaking, a woman is not she's not built for that kind of rigor. No, for that kind of rigor and like roughness and that kind of environment.
But she's meant to be a prophet, but not a bus conductor.
Alright, so
you will make it make sense.
You guys. Alright, so obviously there's a lot of heat right now in the room. So we're just going to go for a quick break and we'll come back to get everyone's conclusions on this gender bender episode.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
Yes, and we are back to the House of Twists and Turns Curveball podcast. And of course, we are rounding off the show with our final closing remarks. But I think we should come from the perspective of of gender roles and of course the biological makeup. So, striking a balance because we have to agree on this before we leave this place. So are there things that you feel like, yes, fine, there's the cry for equality, but are there just some things that
So are you okay?
I'm not even finished. Just some things that each gender should just steer clear of, sort of.
Yes, when you said this each gender.
I
just remembered what Donald Trump said. He said there are only two genders.
Agreed.
And there are only two genders, of course. So, you said biologically, and I have to, biologically there are things that make sense for only men to do.
Word.
And things that make sense for only women to do.
Okay, like.
Because.
Thank you.
We want to talk about things that make sense for only men to do. We are talking about things that involve like high risk.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like to see
James Bond type shit.
It doesn't have to reach James Bond. You do the hurry.
So what now? Give us examples.
Like,
what's high risk that a woman can't do?
We won't talk about high risk. We're talking about probably things that have a potential to cause harm. Like, I can't be somewhere and I'll let a woman try to address something that is electrical, except she's an expert in the field. Even as at that point, I would still feel like my role is to provide protection,
as a
safeguard that.
Okay.
You understand? So yes, something like that, it makes sense for me. It makes sense. It makes sense. Then if you talk about things that only women should do that make sense biologically, I talked about massage and therapies. I feel like only women should be therapists because a woman will not feel anything if a woman touches her body.
That's massage therapist.
Yes, and then even in terms of gynecology, I feel like a man doesn't have anything to do there. A man does not have anything to do there. To interest you now, you always.
It's an interesting thing.
Well, I'm serious. A man, I don't feel like no.
Gosh,
Nah.
ruining us.
I mean, that's me. You can say
What about you, Mo?
Obviously, I disagree. But I mean, anyway.
Are you disagreeing with our?
Anyway, we're supposed to be agreeing. So, I would say my own position is that I think a man and a woman, they can do any job up until the point of biology. I think. So up until the point where it's like, this is not something a woman is built to do. So I don't think, for example, a woman is built to carry like super heavy loads, unless it's, again, something that she's chosen to venture into as a career. So you have female weightlifters. But even then, I do think the parameters are different in sport for women and women, and women and men. So biology is that's biology, but they still do the same thing, right? So I think it's doing the same thing up until the point of biology. That's my position.
So meaning you actually agree with me? Thank you.
No, because I don't agree with the point that you can't have male gynecologists, for example.
I like agreeable females.
Me, I can never be agreeable to your positions, though.
Before I go, I have a question for you, Richard.
Why?
It's a simple question. Why do you feel men can't be gynecologists?
Oh God, are you castrated?
Okay, so you get aroused.
See, the fact is, it is biological for a man to get easily aroused. That's why there are laws to ensure that a male gynecologist cannot be alone with a woman inside a theater at any point in time.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Up until the point of biology. So there
are.
Wait. So there are like things that you put in place as safeguards because of biology. It does not mean that the man cannot do the job.
At what point did...
Thank you, man. Because
Lydia,
can Femi talk? I actually prefer Femi talking. Can Femi talk, please?
Sorry, what's the question?
Oh, you decided Jesus Christ.
You were asking,
balancing, the gender roles with biology. Are there roles
like
that
there are two genders, but there's only one person.
What did I just say?
One gender here. There are people.
What did I just say?
Okay, please.
I agree with both of them, but I disagree with the gynecology thing because I feel like at the end of the day. Okay, wait. No, wait. Let me take back my words. I don't agree. I disagree entirely. I agree to the point of, there are extreme cases. There are people who abuse these things. There are really sick people in this world that go the extra mile just to do what they obsess about and fantasize about. There are people who become gynecologists just because they want to, that kind of thing. So to that extent, I disagree. But I feel like generally people can do anything as long as you're not physically disabled or mentally incapacitated. Like you can do whatever you want to do.
Or biologically limited.
That's why I said she agreed with me, but she does not understand that she agreed with me. And you too, you have agreed with me, and I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to explain to you why. Now, if somebody is convicted of committing a certain crime, and then this person is reintroduced to the society, will you entrust them with certain things? Exactly. If you perceive that there's a chance that this person can be like this.
I say men are... okay, go on, sorry.
Thank you. No, that's my point. Because what's this gender have to do with what you're saying?
Now.
We're talking about someone that's incarcerated. A man can be incarcerated, a woman can be incarcerated.
No.
They'll both be perceived as
I was using that
ex-prisoners.
to bring out something.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I'm saying. There's a high propensity for a man to be aroused by a female, a woman, than for a woman to be aroused by a man.
Even in a professional setting, I feel like you should leave those things outside the door. Do you get? This is work.
So why did those? Are you saying the people that made the laws are mad? Like you have to.
You're coming against your own gender. Or you're trying to say we're animals.
No, we are trying to understand how these things are affecting our society. And
I understand what you mean. You're trying to say that men are extreme. You are extreme.
You're only assuming. Now the fact is, if there's goats here,
Okay.
you now carry yam and near the goats,
Okay. No.
and the goats now eat the yam.
It's a disciplined goat. You will not
You
do that.
hold on,
training.
you blame the goats.
You can train
but
animals.
also
You can
blame
even
the
train
yam.
animals.
Exactly, bro.
You can even
I'm
train
not trying to
animals.
agree with them. I'm just trying to say that people can have self-control.
People can, but people should not be put in a situation where they will be tested. You don't test people.
You have to pass tests to advance.
Thank
That's
you.
life.
And it's
You
only
don't test people. Like,
it's only
that's-
no when you're saying you don't test people, what you mean you don't test men? Because you're not applying the same standard to women. That's what you're trying to say.
This job or profession we are talking about, it affects the men more. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
So when I talk about the fact that the law puts all those things there, they are putting it there to protect the man because
To protect the woman, actually.
Thank you.
protect the man.
Are
How?
you sure?
From
Yes,
what? From
because
like
the fact
being
is, a woman can say a man
did something to her.
did something to her, and of course, in that position,
So
the
it's to
woman.
protect both of them.
Yes, so you have to understand that while they are trying to ensure that because it is not it's not easy. Oh.
I know it's not, to
I'm
be
not-
honest. But it's still work. It's just work.
Yeah, it's just work
Yeah,
now.
so
But
let's-
I see
let's
human being. I
act-
see human
let's
being. I can
disagree
do
to
that
agree,
work.
bro.
So you understand what I'm saying?
I get what
It's
you-
not
I
like I'm
totally
not
get
saying
you.
that they cannot. Of course, if a man wants to handle scissors or knife or whatever to cut, he will
Scalpel.
cut well too.
Yeah.
I don't want
Graphic, but yeah.
You cut.
Well,
But,
Yeah.
okay, but you understand.
Yeah.
But we are talking about the fact that this is biology. Any man that doesn't easily get aroused when around women, that one say have problem. We need to check it. Maybe something.
Anyways, before we go, of course, Femi has
Yeah.
been our peacemaker.
You genuinely, because you can never be.
And of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
this is the end of the road, guys. But remember, when life throws you a curveball, don't let it hit you. Swing. Stay guarded, and we'll see you next time on
Curveball. Bye.
An African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
My name is Fort Udo. I'm from Nigeria, born in Lagos, grew up in Oroshoki since when I've been little, and I discovered what I can do right now from a particular movie I watched, that's Twin Mission. And from that movie, I blend myself to the people I saw, the actors I saw from that movie, which were very rare. I've not seen that kind of people before. So from there, I started, it was like, they were doing some kind of move. And at that moment, while they were doing it, I said I should try this. I've never seen something like this before. And at that very moment, as I tried it, I did it.
Contortion, sometimes referred to as contortionism, is an art that's not very popular in Nigeria. Sam and Blessing are contortionists in Lagos who hone their skills from constant practice and watching videos on YouTube.
So from there, I started pushing. Then I pushed into dance from there till I grew up. I still didn't know what I was doing all this while until 6-7 years back. Then I have to start doing research on it. From there, I then know what I am doing. Then I started working on it professionally, taking it very serious, taking it to a very high stage till from what I've been doing from time come to now, I've been watching videos on YouTube and other ways I can actually learn from. So that way I've been learning. Then some of my friends, which I work with right now, they came to me that I should teach them. So for me teaching them, I have to go work more on myself. I have to go watch more videos to improve so I can teach them. So that way I've been learning by myself until when 2019, that was when I went for a yoga class, a yoga school, and I got satisfied from being a yoga teacher, yoga instructor. So aside from that school, there has been no other school. Once I come up on stage, I connect with the whole space entirely. I connect with everything around me, even the sun, the water, more or less a human being. I make sure I connect down to the hearts of anybody watching me. Nigeria as a whole, I also feel it's me, number one, like I'm best. So from there, I've made income from it, then I build up a group whereby if I have a job, I don't even want to go for the job. If the pay is not okay to me, then I bring up the new generations, which are just starting, and I send them out to go for the job. Most times if I fall sick, I fall very sick, typhoid, malaria, or I fall sick, I still make sure if nobody is at home, I put on my sound and I do movements in the room. With that way I sweat everything out. I get better a bit and I probably go out, go laugh with some people. Then with that, I can beat off my sickness. Or if I have a job, I'm falling sick and I just hear about the job, I'll make sure, if they are paying me or not, I just make sure I go for the job, hit up the stage, connect with people. So that way, me connecting with people, I'm dragging more energy. So that one builds me up again. And if I'm sick at that moment, I don't get sick again. Or if I should have a particular injury, like presently I'm having an injury, which I'm not supposed to do anything at all. But when it comes to me performing, because I don't see myself as an entertainer, I don't entertain. I perform, I do act with my homework. But most contortionists, they want to entertain, they just want to make sure you say wow to what they're doing. But me, once I come up on stage, I don't even want to hear any noise. I just want a quiet space. I do my thing, then at the end, you can give me whatever comments you want to give me. Actually, I've not broken any bone before. Just normally I dislocate my joints. So all I've been doing is dislocation. So the injury I can just get is from muscles. When I strain a muscle, like I go extremely out of the act. So I've only had just two. The first one was my shoulder, and the second one is the knee, which I'm having now. Because that's why I say when I'm on stage, the space I'm in, it can put so much energy in me, and I even want to take off my hand or take my head off my body. So if I'm performing and the stage where I'm at, the energy I'm picking from that stage is building me up, I want to do something very, very, very crazy, which I've not even practiced before. So it's more like I'm going into the spirit realm, into somewhere else that is just blank. And I just do things extremely out of that. The most extreme I've done was twisting my neck to the back. Then I do this triple fold. That's the back bend. You have to triple fold. You fold like twice with your back bend. But I have to stop doing that because I've seen too many people doing it, and I want to create my own style. I don't want to come up on stage and I do something and they'll be like, this one can do it. This one can do it. Because it's still the same transition you use and going into it. So I want to do something that the transition, you barely see it around. If you watch multiple videos, you hardly see it. It's very rare to see. So that's why I have to cut off some moves from what I do. Like I do a whole lot of moves before to make sure I entertain people like then way back. Then it's when I had to now start noticing myself, what I can do, how more I can reach out with my skills, then I have to just cut out some moves and start working on my own moves, creating my own things for myself. More like the racket move in Nigeria now, presently. I'm the only one. Though there are many people, there are others now coming up as well, trying to get their own rackets and start doing. And some of them will still come up to me and like teach me this particular move, and I will still teach them. So there will still be a time whereby if I see that okay, they have gotten it up to that level, I know, I'll drop that and move into another one. So because they've gotten the neck twist to the level I know, hey, I can't do it again, I can't go any further than that. I had to leave it for them. So it's only when I have this kind of audience, like if I have a performance for a particular program and they'll ask me to perform like 5 different times for one event, and I can't come up with another move for the next performance. I can't come up with another move for the third one, etc. So that's how I just break down my moves. Then probably the last performance, that's where I can come up with the neck twist. And I have to work out for it. I can't just go up on stage and just twist my neck. So I have to do a 1 week neck stretch to stretch the muscle and neck for 1 week straight. Then when I appear on stage, I'm ready to just twist it out. The goal for me is to build more like a circus in Nigeria. Bring that to Nigeria. There are people doing it, but it's not really like circus. It's just more like a show. They just do it and they call it a circus show. And circus show is not supposed to be something you just do once in a year. It's supposed to be something you do like every weekend in the year. So what I'm looking at from 5 to 10 years from now is that I bring circus into Nigeria. When it comes to contortion, most people they mistake contortion for dance. And most times they just be like, what do you do? I'll say I'm a contortionist. I'll be like, oh, dancer. I would say no, I'm a contortionist. And they'll still want to be like, explain what is different from contortion and you being a dancer. So I have to now start breaking it down to them that this is contortion, this is dance. Though it still looks more alike. Like when I come up on stage, I move to music. Some contortionists, they don't have that musicality. They just do. Make sure people shout. But me, I just make sure I come up on stage, I have that musicality. So that's why when some people see me perform mine, they call it dance. It's not dance, it's contortion. So I call mine contortion act. So it's an act I'm just portraying to people, not. Before I met Blessing, I've just known 6-7 contortionists. Before I met Blessing, I've known just 6-7 contortionists, which I've worked with. And I didn't work with all of them. I met few of them in a competition, whereby if they see me, they just see that somewhere I've come, they will even want to leave the competition for me. But I'll be like, oh, what is it? Is it not the same thing we're doing? But they see me and they will still want to run away from me. Same thing to Blessing. We met at one show then. Then from that show, I saw her. She was the first female contortionist I've seen. Like, I've traveled Nigeria, I've seen contortionists, but she was the first one I've seen that was different from other females.
Hi, my name is Miss Okute Blessing Uche. I'm 21 years old. I was born January 7th, the year 2000. I'm a student of Lagos State University, Ojo campus, 200 levels. I'm actually studying physical and health education. I started about 6 years ago when I was seeing this movie, As Trained. It's about this teacher, a dance teacher actually. She was teaching her students how to split and then carry their legs up. I was very, very amazed at what these girls can do with their bodies. So I decided to start on my own too and to start stretching. I would always stretch in my parlor. It got to a point whereby my parlor wasn't spacious enough for me, so I had to go to this place opposite my compound. It was spacious, so I took this my dad's mirror because he used to be a barber. He had a salon, so I took his mirror there, and then I would always practice alone in that place. When I say it's profitable, okay, it has been profitable because I was able to use this money I get from the shows I do and the concert I go for my school bills and other bills I have to pay. It's actually helping me to take care of some other things too, but I'm not where I want to be right now. I'm not getting what I want right now because I want more. So every lady that wants to be a gymnast or a contortionist should know that it's painful, and whatever you put your mind into, you're going to achieve it. One thing that helped me to get this far is my consistency and my persistency. I was always training. Sometimes I go as hard training for like 3 to
I will take you through this amazingness today.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Cancer with Dr. Denise Ejo, the CEO of Commode Cancer Foundation, in partnership with Plus TV. Together we fight, together we win. Thank you all for championing our cause in this 2025. As we've been given another chance, we are also grateful as cancer patients and survivors. So today, what are we talking about? We're starting this with Breaking the Silence, the survivor's story of childhood cancer in Nigeria. And our guests are Dr. Adef, I don't like to pronounce names wrong, so I'm going to go Adefeiti. Doc, am I correct?
Yes, well, you are correct. I'm Dr. Olufemi Adefeiti.
Awesome, I got that. And with me also is our survivor champion, childhood cancer survivor, Adekemi Adewumi.
Adekemi Oyewusi.
Oyewusi. I don't know why. I was like, what's going on? All right. Hello, Kemi, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's start this conversation. Today we celebrate International Cancer Day for 2025. Every year in February on the 15th, the world unites to raise awareness and express support for children and adolescents with cancer, their families and survivors. It is a reminder of the urgent need to improve access to quality care, emotional support, and financial assistance for young patients. This year's theme, Better Survival is Achievable, emphasizing that through global solidarity, early diagnosis, and accessible treatment, every child can have a fighting chance in life, of which we have a survivor with us. So in Nigeria, childhood cancer is a growing health crisis. According to WHO, approximately 400,000 children are diagnosed with cancer annually worldwide. In Nigeria, late diagnosis, lack of specialized treatment centers, and high cost of care contribute to the alarming low survival rates. So let's jump into this conversation as I now give you a brief synopsis of who our guests are. Starting with our survivor, Adekemi was diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma. Adekemi is a project manager with over a decade of experience and a childhood cancer survivor of over 25 years. She's a global advocate, passionately dedicated to raising awareness, driving policy change, and ensuring equitable care for children battling cancer. She serves on the steering committee of the Global Childhood Cancer Survivors Network and leads the EduCare Project, an initiative she founded to provide medical and educational support for vulnerable children with cancer. Kemi, I want to say thank you very much for joining me. You look really good.
Thank you, Dr. Dennis, for having me, and thank you for spotlighting children today.
Thank you. It's quite nice. You look very good. You must have had a very busy day.
Yes, of course I've had. We are here, and this is what we should do to spotlight and talk about the need for us to prioritize children with cancer.
Awesome. And in the house, we've also got someone very special who is Dr. Femi Adefeiti. He's a consultant pediatrician, a hematology oncologist, and is the head of the pediatric hematologist oncology unit in UOAU Teaching Hospital, Ife. Let me just put it like that, because if I go any other way, I'll get it wrong. He has a first degree in medicine and surgery from the Obafemi Awolowo University, and he's a fellow of the West African College of Physicians, pediatric specialist. He has his post-fellowship training in pediatric oncology at Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai, India, and has also benefited from different training programs in pediatric oncology in different institutions, including Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, Children's Hospital, Global Oncology and Blood Disorder Education Program, also in Boston, and Princess Maxima Center for Pediatric Oncology. And today's reason I've said special is that he actually is also our guest consultant. So I've got doctor and patient together. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you, Doctor.
For having us. Thank you.
Dr. Dennis.
Very nice to have you. Thank you. So we're going to start this conversation with Kemi, and let's see what Kemi has to say. Kemi, can you share with us briefly your personal journey with childhood cancer and how it has shaped your life today?
Okay, so my journey with childhood cancer started over 25 years ago, about 27 actually. I was 8 years old. I was diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma. It started off very unusual sickness. I mean, I went to school very okay, but unknowingly to me, I had a swelling in my stomach, but I didn't pay attention to it, and my mom didn't know as well. But when I got to school, I started having pains from that side of the stomach, and my teacher noticed this, and then they had to send me back home because I couldn't function well in school. I was in primary 3 at the time, and that was how the journey started. So we're in and out of hospital, thinking it was, typhoid, maybe there was something I ate that was disturbing me. So I was in and out of hospital for more than 3 months. We were unable to ascertain what exactly it was that was disturbing me. And, at this point, I want to actually recognize the hospital that paid attention to it and said, no, this looks like a tumor and it needs to be transferred to the teaching hospital. This happened at one hospital in Osun State, Biket. The owner of the hospital came in and I saw the condition. Was like, we need to transfer her to a tertiary hospital, And I remembered I walked into that hospital March 8th, 1998. And that was the beginning of a different journey in my life because I didn't step out of the hospital until 2 years after. It was a different thing. It was so strange that we honestly didn't even know that it was cancer for a long time, but because of how peculiar the disease was, the treatment processes were, my chemo stages, how I lost my hair, it felt very strange to see things like that happening. And back then, cancer was, the Yoruba name for cancer is jejere. So I knew my mom knew what it was, but it was seen more of a cultural thing, affliction. People didn't really, even though I'm from a very enlightened home, they knew that there was a need for me to go to the medical center. I needed to get the, orthodox medicine to cater for my care. But then there was still this mindset that it could be an affliction. And then considering my background, trust me, it wasn't easy at all. But then I think that one of the things that helped me, aside God's grace, having, exceptional medical practitioners that helped me at Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital, because from the day I entered, my treatment began. And that was also because there was availability of funds. And, when I look back at that journey, even 27 years after, treatments are still being done by children, by the family. It's not something that government really helps to support. It was a very tough one for me. And I was in active treatment for 2 years. I couldn't go to school, so I lost 2 years of my life to cancer. But thankfully, my school helped me. I didn't have to repeat classes. Reintegration was a bit easy for me. But one of the challenges that I had was I had mental disorder because it felt like I was isolated, and I didn't understand the process of having to take chemo through my spinal cord every other time. I think it was a whole lot for me as a child. And considering this was a formative year for me, I wasn't allowed to do things that I would love to do. I wasn't allowed to play with my siblings as much as I would want to. The schools I wanted to go to, I couldn't go to those schools because even very early, later I had to, but at that stage, my parents felt like I needed more care. So I was a bit isolated, and that affected me a bit. So it took a toll on me because even after my active treatment, I think I had my follow-up for 10 years, roughly 10 years before, I was told that I could just stay apart. Things are okay now, and I can continue my life. But one of the things that I didn't have was adequate information for me to understand as much as I would want to. And how has it shaped my life today? I think that the curiosity in me led me into advocacy. Today, I'm a global advocate for childhood cancer, and I'm very proud that this is something that has shaped my person, my personality, the need for me to be a voice for the millions of children in Nigeria that may be battling cancer and they don't know. The fact that I didn't have so much knowledge because I was young, naive, my parents also didn't know so much, was the reason why I delved myself into understanding more. And most times I go to cyber cafe back then, mine was just going to check online for what is bucket lymphoma. I used to spell it as BUCKET, but then Google corrected it for me. And that's how my journey, understanding what challenges I had, how do I navigate things better, I began to study things and knowing things myself. And today, I give God the glory. I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm adding my voice to the global voice in terms of childhood cancer. Thank you.
Emmy, thank you very, very much. Okay, so based on that, Doc, I'm going to ask you a quick question, and then we're going to most probably take a break. And that's going to be, what are some of the biggest challenges faced by children diagnosed with cancer in Nigeria?
Thank you, Dr. Dennis. I think that question is actually for me.
Yeah, that's for you. That's what I said.
Yes. Well,
it's not for me.
Let me start by saying, generally in Nigeria, medical care is a challenge to many of us, to many of the population in Nigeria. Now come to talk about medical care for cancer. And when you talk of managing cancer, there are a lot of things that come into play. Key of such is personnel and infrastructure. Before now, we have few personnel on ground that are trained in caring for children with cancer. But recently with the JAPA syndrome, if I can use that word, we are very, very short. I'm talking of personnel. People that are well trained in taking care of children with cancer. Very few, and in the recent times, we are even smaller in terms of number. So that is a big challenge, having personnel. Then the other aspect is the infrastructure. Most of the time, even when children are diagnosed, they are diagnosed late, not because the few personnel on ground, they don't know what to do, but the diagnostic facilities are not just there in many of the centers. Only few centers are equipped to diagnosing cancers in children. Because in the recent time, it is not just enough to say, oh, you brought in your child, we've done a clacking, we've done this and that. There are a lot of high-tech diagnostic tools which we still lack in making a precise diagnosis of specific tumors in children, because cancers in children are of diverse kind. And so one needs to get to the real diagnosis to be able to institute correct and proper management. So diagnosis is still a big challenge. And even when they are diagnosed, another problem is assessing drugs that we need to take care of these children. Many of these drugs are very costly and very scarce within the country. So these are challenges, of taking care of children. And the funny thing is that many of the children we see are from low socioeconomic background, many of them. Generally, 70% of the population, are poor, but not to talk of cancer now in children whose parents are poor. So even when you now make your diagnosis, after a lot of stress here and there, to initiate treatment is a big challenge, because assessing these drugs is a big challenge because of cost and because of availability. So these are a few of the challenges we are facing.
Let's take a quick break here. We're going here for a break now, and then we'll come back. We'll continue this conversation. Dear viewers, we're going to take a break now, and we'll be back with you shortly as we go for a break quickly.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, they go beat you. Now 2,500 they pay.
Thank you, Dr. Dennis. Like we said, we talked about challenges to cancer management in Nigeria, especially in children. So I've mentioned the issue of personnel. I've mentioned the issue of infrastructure, especially diagnostic infrastructure. I've mentioned the issue of accessing drugs. Drugs are costly and not easily available. So these are basic things that we think if we get on top of them, managing cancers in children will be a bit easier if diagnosed early.
Awesome. So in which case, let's take it from there now. So based on that, can you give me the three main misconceptions that are held with cancer and childhood cancer? Misconceptions, because
yeah, thank you for that question. There are a lot of misconceptions in our setting.
Yeah.
Going from the perspective of religion, there are three basic religions practiced in Nigeria. We have the Islamic faith, the Christian faith, and of course the traditional faith. Many of our people are just religious, to and extremely religious when it comes to issue of diagnosing cancer. They believe a lot of superstition. Many of them, they believe in wicked acts of wicked people. So many of them believe that cancer, number one, maybe is as a result of the sin of the family, that God is just visiting them to punish them because of their sin. Some believe it's an attack from witches, from wizards, or from one enemy within the family setting. And so, because of that, convincing them that a child has cancer is a bit difficult in our setting. If a majority don't believe, even the well-learned, well-read individuals, they still find it difficult that a child can develop cancer. It's still a big problem in our setting. We did a study recently under publication now. More than 85% of our people in our own community didn't believe that children can have cancer. They don't just come to term that a child can develop cancer. And so once you tell them that this is cancer, the next thing is, before you know it, they go to traditional healer. Some go to faith-based, to practice their this thing either to the church or to the mosque for prayers. So that big misconception is still there, that a child cannot develop cancer, that it is an attack. It's a big issue in our setting. That is one big misconception, which we need to let our people understand, that it is not an attack from the enemy. Rather, it is a disease that developed from the body, from the abnormal cells in the body. So we need to let them know. And to that, we need to create a lot of awareness, which we are doing currently in our own setting. We are doing quite a lot of awareness on the radio, the television, going to the marketplaces, going to the schools, religious places, giving head talk, creating awareness everywhere. So that is a big misconception. Few of them that believe, okay, maybe you are right, cancer, there and that. Like I said, they believe that prayer takes care of everything. And so they will go to healing homes instead of coming to the hospital at the right time. They will only come after the cancer has advanced in stages and all those stuff. After they have tried all sorts, that is when they eventually return back to the hospital, when practically nothing can be done. So we need to let them know that it's not an attack. It's a disease arising from abnormal cells within the body.
Thank you. Sorry, I actually got you there because I wanted Kemi to now give me Kemi, and I need you to give me, and seriously, I need you to give me 3. Don't go far. How did your family support and the support system you had help you navigate? And I want you to be very sharp with that because I have something else I want to ask you. So to
be honest, I think that I want to say thank you to my family, despite the inadequate information that they had at the time. They were quite supportive. My father was a present father. Despite his status, he was available for me. My mother was present for me. My mother was in the hospital throughout, even though, as doctors mentioned, there's the religious part, but that didn't mean that we didn't take care of the medical part. But my mother would always find solace in the mosque. Mother would always go to the mosque to pray. My siblings were also very supportive. We're young, naive, a lot of things were not clear to us. My school was very supportive. Like I mentioned, I didn't have to repeat classes. What I did was just write my crossover examinations and meet up with my peers. So that stage was easier for me to integrate. I didn't have to feel some sort of way. Even though sometimes I think of it that it could be perhaps because of my status, because what I see now is quite different for children. It's a difficult one for them to go back to that same school. But I had very good acceptance. The only thing that, like I mentioned, that because of lack of information, it was not easy for them to help me with my psychological parts. And that was the bigger one for me. So when I had mental disorder, no one really understood what I was going through, and they didn't know how to help. And I also could not communicate. That's one thing you see in children. Most times they can't express themselves how they're feeling because it's difficult to even tell. how they're feeling. But when if I have to rate it, I had very good support system, family, friends.
Awesome, Kemi. Now, as I'm rounding up right now, and I needed to you're going to give a final message, but in the same conversation, I've got to let people know that in commemoration of this World Cancer Day, we're at this point calling on health workers, professionals, private sectors, and communities to join hands in this fight, because every child deserves a chance to live, dream, and achieve. And by increasing awareness, advocating for better policies, and supporting families, we can turn the vision into a reality. Together we fight, together we win. So, Kemi, there's somebody I want us to appeal for, and I want you to do the appeal on that behalf. And we're going to appeal for a childhood cancer survivor like you. The government help should come to the person. So, can you give out this appeal, please?
Okay, so this, thank you, Dr. Dennis. Thank you so much. Nigerians, we have many children that have had challenges from the effect of their treatment on cancer. We have Chidera. Chidera is a bright, beautiful young lady. She had osteosarcoma, cancer of the bone, which affected her leg, and they had to amputate one of her legs. We are seeking support to get prosthetics for her. You can either buy it for her or donate money for us to help her get it. She's a beautiful lady, has good thing going on for her, and she just needs the support of Nigerians to help her live healing life. Thank you so much, and we're expecting donors on her behalf.
Thank you. Anybody that wants to donate for Chidera, please, we're appealing. And as you know, I live with cancer. I have cancer. My voice is not in a good place at present. I am appealing with all and with our doctor here that anybody can help her. Please just send a message to Come With Cancer or go through Plus TV and they'll get back in touch with us. I want to say thank you. And as I'm rounding up now, I want to say a very big thank you
Hello, you're welcome to this episode or edition, whichever you call it, of Timeless Conversations. My guest today, I've known for about 19, going to 20 years. In the course of our association, I found her to be very resourceful, very focused, and she has this uncanny drive that makes you understand that there's nothing impossible to do in this world. I'm going to use a name that she kindly allowed me to say today. And those who are very familiar with her would know that she always just uses a first and a second name. But I said, come, tell me your middle name. And okay, if it's you, I'll give you. Please welcome with me, my guest, Helen Omoniton Paul. Hi. You're welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fine, thank you, sir.
It's been quite some time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, really good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm taking you somewhere you told me you don't want to go, but we have to go there. You know, there's something called the beginning of everything.
Yes, sir.
Right. The circumstances of your birth placed you in Fadei. How many years did you spend in Fadei?
Well, God placed me in Fadei, not just circumstances. The Creator placed me in Fadei, and I lived in Fadei from ages 0 till about 19.
Till 19.
Till 19.
Till 19? That was around the time I got to know you?
No, you got to know me when I was already about 22.
22, okay. Okay, all right, that's true. 22. All right. Now, the circumstances of your birth, I still say, were such that naturally, according to the society, there are some things that needed to be met that were not met. How did that affect you?
Well, affected me positively because of my great-grandmother. She didn't let me see it that way. So in a way, I can still say...
Your great-grandmother?
Yes.
I actually thought it was your grandmother.
No, but we know, because generally people just say grandmother, grandmother. So we all just join to say grandmother. But if we're to look at it in the arrangement, she's actually great-grandmother.
Great.
Because my grandmother then was in Ikeja. That's the person I know as my grandmother. She's also late now.
Okay.
You know, so Mama really did a great job on me.
So you just call her Mama?
We all just call her Mama.
Okay.
As some call her Mommy, you know. But I just call her Mama. Okay. You know. And Mama did a great job. I practically would say that I grew up like a Mobota because nobody dare touch me. Nobody dare say anything to me except for herself. Okay. She's the only one that can say you be idiot, you be Momo. But if anybody else says it, she would fight. That I start begin to ask myself, they do this kind of thing now. Why they fight people? Say then they call me in that kind of thing. Then one day I asked her that, Mama, well, sometimes I would tie me. Why would not so be with me? Say if I say make me a talk am, another person no fit talk am. Now me.
No, you just spoke Isha.
Yes, Isha.
So if you speak Isha, you must translate.
That's what I'm saying. That's the same thing. I translated it now. That if, Mama, you say things that you don't want people to say back to me. Why? And she said, if I talk that thing, nobody get right to talk am. I know why they talk am now to teach you. But if then they talk am to take abuse you, now the power why I get, I will take finish them. Which you also get the power to finish them. Anybody where you abuse, if they can't tell me, Ellie Oshe bye, like Ellie did this, I will reply them, waiting Oshe, where it take make and talk like that. So I grew up having that understanding that there's a reason to everything.
There's a cause and effect.
There's a giving and there's a take. So if you don't give, you won't take, you know, that kind of thing. So I learned that from her, and that really made me who I am today. And that's why growing up, even when they talk about me, you as my boss, my permanent secretary, then you just laugh. You just laugh, and you just see me as, what kind of small girl is this? You know, so the right people actually help you to know if you're a silver spoon or you're a plastic spoon. Mama made me feel like a silver spoon.
But let's talk about Mama still. Mama, in her ways,
yes,
was super educated?
No. Not, yes, educated about life, but not in terms of the education that we all call school.
Okay. Life was her school.
Yes, life was her school.
Yeah.
And I would say she was full of wisdom. You know, so she also worked in the hospital.
Okay.
So I grew up working with her in the hospital.
Which hospital?
Tyrus Clinic, Fadei Yaba.
Fadei Yaba.
You know,
I know about Fadei. My dad
so Tyrus
lived
Clinic
there till he died.
Yeah, so Tyrus Clinic is at Shiro.
Yeah, Shiro,
so
yes.
from my 01, like 1, 2 years or 3, I was always in the hospital, working with Mama. So I saw nurses, I saw doctors, you know, I saw different patients. So I saw things practically, I saw blood, but I never admired being a doctor in the medical field.
Okay.
You know.
And you were special to her because
Very.
of those circumstances.
Yes.
Right. Which basically was what?
Helped me.
Yes. To you.
Yes.
It was like your solid
background, my foundation.
Your foundation. Should anyone around you experience what you experienced, what would you prescribe for them?
Well, everybody has a story to tell.
Good.
Things happen to every one of us.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be my type of story. It might not be from the foundation. Mm-hmm. Some people's foundation is so sweet, and maybe in marriage they begin to face their own problems. But I will always still recommend that we should be conscious of the people we have around us, the people that you run to for advice. You must have the right people talking to you. You can't just, some people have people that they can only advise but cannot advise them in return. So sometimes life will happen to you the wrong way. But when you're surrounded by at least 3 people that can call you to order, like you would call me to order and I will listen. For how many years ago, but you will still say, Helen, and I'll say, yes, Daddy, I will still answer. So some people feel they've all grown, that they don't need anybody to talk to them. I also on my own. There's nothing like I also on my own. Maybe you need to just sit back and think, who are the people that actually showed me the way, picked me up, helped me. And with that, your life will be easy, especially when you keep asking God for direction. I am very conscious about direction from the Almighty. I'm always finding out time to sit on my own, raise my leg, and I'm thinking, what should I do next? Who should I talk to next? What do I need to do? Holy Spirit, I need your guidance. And that has really helped me in my life.
Yes.
And it's still helping me.
Well, it still baffles me how you were able to break free from the limiting circumstances, because many people don't break free from it. There's that feeling of pain inside and all that. How did you break free?
I won't really say I had pain. Mama didn't really let me feel the pain.
Okay.
But Mama
she was a good buffer for you.
Yes, she was a fighter.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she trained me not to trust anyone. Then she made me understand life that you can't be useless and expect someone to love you. You have to be very useful. She also trained me that life is give and take. If you want to really find out if someone loves you unconditionally, behave in some certain ways. After a while, they get tired and cut you off. And that's life. So that really has really helped me. Take, for instance, when I became like 19, I started finding out questions like, where is my mom? Why is she not with us? Our twin sister was in the house with us. And that one and myself, we were more like friends and enemy at the same time. Mama didn't let me really respect her. So till date, I still call her Tai, you know. And I had to start training myself to say, Moemi, you know, because she and my mom, they're almost the same. Like,
they're the same.
Hey, Abi, kid bofeshe. So I had to call her Moemi. And I had to train myself to say, okay, Mama has given you power, but don't overuse the power, because power can get into your head. And she has really been playing the role of a mother too, like my mom. But I really wanted to find out who my mom was. So when I discovered, I asked Antai, and I said, Mom, I need to know who my mom is. Especially a scenario happened that one of their senior sister was getting married, and that one used to attend Deeper Life Church, you know. So she used to take me to the Ayobo retreat. They would give us beans. They would not let me wear my earring. I'll cut agbalumo seed. I'll place it on my ears to say I want to wear earring. Teacher would stop me from doing it. So I didn't really like following her to church, but I liked her because she was very caring. Auntie Vero was very caring to me. But when she was about to get married, there was a situation in the family that was really rough. And later the husband said he was not getting married again. And everybody started begging the husband. They called family meeting that year. And we went to my grandma's house. Mama carried me and went to my grandma's house.
In Ikeja?
In Ikeja, Ikpodo.
Ikpodo, okay.
So when we got there, the meeting was all about, so let's talk to Taye, where is your second? I have called out. the Auntie Vero's husband then said, or fiancé then said, he wasn't getting married again because he discovered that Auntie Vero was Eileen's mother. You gave birth when you were small, and you are hiding that information. Why? Because anywhere Auntie Vero too was going, then I will follow. Yes. Then in church, she will, where she wears that her folding skirt, she will make small size for me. Then we'll both wear the same color of turban. Pleated skirt. Yes. I will tuck in with the belt. Yes. Then we wear, she will give me small turban and they will roll my turban, you know. Then I'll follow her to Bagada or Ayobo. I was following her up and down, you know. Because Mama won't go to church. Grandma will not go to church, but Grandma will say, anybody where they go church, may help me take her more. So if Auntie Vero said, oh, that she's going to Ayobo today, she can't take me, she doesn't have power to carry any baby. Neighbors, I remember one auntie, Afumata. Auntie Afumata will say, I can take her. So they will take me to the St. Dominic's on Albert Macaulay Road. I like that one too, because there's no way Auntie Afumata will take you to church that she will not buy ice cream. We will now cut it in the middle, scissors. We share it. So I used to follow her because of her ice cream. Then my cousins too, Omono, that one will buy biscuit, we will share it. But when Auntie Vero takes me to church, she would have cooked very early in the morning, packed the food in the plate. I didn't like that feeling of rice and one small egg or yam. By afternoon when we close church, not be cutting kini church. I didn't like it. Then the church was also, our church then, Deeper Life then wasn't too fine then. It was at Igbobi College, uncompleted video, and we'll sit down, we'll be listening to tape. And Jesus, you have said, let's look at the book. I'm not saying pastor, but when we go to...
Yes, Baba talking.
Yes, Baba talking. Then later, another neighbor started taking me to Aru CCG, Eagle's Wings on Ogati Road, off John. So that one, I liked it too because once we get there, it's dance. So I like, this is so sweet. I liked that feeling. You know, so I grew up having different experiences from one religion to another, from different styles to another. And sincerely speaking, that helped me. Number one, in knowing people. Number two, studying people easily. Number three, wearing different character per time, because I'm liking this one, at the same time I'm liking this one, at the same time I'm liking this one, different experiences. Then our house was a face me and face you house. It was so sweet, especially when there's a fight. That dog Gio Mimi who carried my water here. So you know, you just be stealing, you just be watching. Meanwhile, me and Mama were at the passage, we saw who carried the water. Mama is not saying a word. Me too. I'm not saying a word. When they turn to Mama, Mama, talogbo mi yen. Emi komo. I don't know who took the water. Abi Ellen Shori. Báwo dé mi ò rí, báwo lòun ṣe fẹ́ rí. So I grew up with that kind of style. So that actually helped me.
So it
trained me. So that my auntie, that Auntie Vero's matter affected the family to the point that
they
had to call the man to tell the man that no, it's not, it's her sister. The sister left her, ran away. It's Taye's. So Auntie said, okay, if that is the case, it's me. The man got angry again. What do you mean if that is the case? So who is the owner of this child? Everybody is saying she's... And I saw in my presence, Auntie Vero said, it's not me. God says it's not the one. How can I give birth? Like, so how can't you give birth to me? That one pained me small. Then on our wedding day, finally, when they resolved the fight with Uncle Peter, my mom came for the wedding. I'm like, this one and Taye, they look alike. So
that was your first time of seeing her?
That was my first time of seeing her. And then she was begging everybody. She was speaking our Haitian language. And Taye said, Malo, I'll take care of her. Go. Mama said, so because you want to now start, it's me that took care of. That's why I felt good again, that people were fighting on who is taking care of me. So in a way, I don't know, God shielded me from having the pains. I was still my sanguine self, carefree girl. Why? Maybe because I was always, all of my outing was church. Another outing, Dupe Sholana. Then now Ululana.
I know her.
Yes. She had children fellowship on the streets. And she had another one in Onekman. So sometimes she would do cross fellowship. The children from Fade, they'll get us a bus to go to Onekman. So Then there was one concert she did, and she addressed all of us, the children, and told us that she will introduce us one by one on stage to come and sing with her, and she would call us Olulano, you know. So she has all children from all over the world. So when they were called, they called Helen Olulano. I felt very great. I felt very good. So that means to change surname is even easy.
It's just been adopted like that.
So when I grow up, I'll just look for one name. Let's assume I was not married now. I would have become Ellen Ogubanwo, or Ellen Tunumbu, or Ellen Buhari, or Ellen Babangida. I'll just look for someone that is
good to identify
so
with.
That's how God healed my heart. So I didn't say anything as big deal.
But when your mom eventually showed up?
When we became friends.
Right from Tibero's
wedding. We became friends. She would come and visit me. She would talk to me. Then she will tell Mama that, Mama, anything you need, I will struggle to give. Mama say, hey, as you they come now, now you better. But as I grew up by myself, 19, Mama, I'm buying Bemo. I'm not staying with you again.
You said to Mama like that?
Yeah, I'm buying Bemo. I'm looking for my mommy. I want to see my mom because anytime they call parents meeting, it's Mama that will go. When we students were looking at whose mother and father is fine.
Okay, you needed to show somebody.
I wanted to show.
As a child.
I said I was going to
But Mama will not pay you attention.
Mama does not even answer. Mama said, okay, if that is the case, she will send Taye. She Taye fine, I Taye no fine. Because I saw my Mama.
You would tell her
I tell her, about what person will fine. So the sanguine thing, even people see it as pain. I never saw it as pain. I noticed that.
I think it's normal for there to be pain, but like you said,
I didn't see it as pain.
Yeah, you probably had good shields.
That's what I said. Mama was my buffer.
Yeah.
She didn't give me that space.
Yes.
And even when I was working in Eko FM, instead of me to feel like a receptionist, I felt like I was in control of everything.
I actually never even saw you as a receptionist.
That's what I'm saying. I felt like, so everything starts from within. I felt like I was in charge of everything.
You were in a sense.
Can you imagine, sir, that I used to lock the studio?
Yeah, no.
I would tell all of you, all adults.
You allow people in or out and say, no, you're not going in.
You're not going in.
Yeah.
So I had so much power.
Yeah.
So I think that was what God did for me. He's just protecting me and giving me people to just make me ride. I never got into wrong hands where they put me under their armpits. You know, so working with Uncle Diron, you know, Diron Lajoyegbe. Yes, I remember my boss telling me then, Helen, no noise in the studio. There's a recording going on. If anybody makes noise, you will be suspended. I said, okay, sir. After about 3-4 hours later, when the recording was over, people were still very cautious. And Uncle Diron came with his friend talking. Ta, 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 ta. And I said, excuse me, sir. No noise in this surrounding. It's not allowed. And Uncle Diron looked at me. I said, yes, sir. Yeah. That's the rule, sir. No noise. Yeah. He said, okay. Called his friend. Let's go. And they left. Then he called my boss then. And you are there. I said, one that tiny thing in that reception. I said, why did you do that to Uncle Diron? I said, if I cannot correct him as my father, who else will I correct? And that was it. Yeah, the same thing to you. The first time I came to the office, I will say your own too. The first time I resumed work in that week, can you remember? And all over the radio station, everyone, PS is coming, PS is coming, PS is coming. Then I asked, I said, what is PS? They said, permanent sec. I said, hey, what does the person do? He said, Helen, the person is the overall head of this clinical radio station. Eko FM, Igbako FM, Clinical Real Mix. I said, is it not Uncle Diron? They said, no. I said, okay. I want to see the PS. So when you came up, you were wearing white, very simple, and you came inside. Can you remember what I told you the first time?
I think I do.
Yes, I just went to meet you. I came to meet you. I said, excuse me, sir, good afternoon, sir. You said, good afternoon. I said, okay, why are everybody running away from you? And you said, who are the people running? No. I said, everybody. They were running that PS is coming, PS is coming, PS. He said, don't mind them. Don't mind them. And where do you work? I said, I work in the Real Mix Studios. As what? I said, I just came in, sir. He said, okay. Okay, you are welcome. That was what you told me. He said, you are welcome. I said, thank you, sir. I said, but I don't like the way people are scared of you. He said, don't mind them, oh. Then you went upstairs. Yeah. After a while, I came upstairs. I said, I want to see the PS office. Everybody. She's too jumpy. She's too this. She's too that. Then, after a while in the afternoon, I came up. I was looking for the PS office. Yes, then I came to the office. Your secretary said, do I have an appointment? I said, no, I just want to see him. And you said, who is that? I said, it's my friend. Come in. I entered the office. You were eating. He said, do you want to eat? I said, yes. I said, okay, I will send it to you. I said, okay, should I come back? You said, don't worry. I will send it to you. And that was where you started sending your food to me. Yes. Say, Ellen, say PS2 to Bonja Deo, PS2 to Bonja Deo. And that's how I became Oga's daughter. Nobody could touch me.
I'll be now.
Can you remember?
Yes, but you were doing your job.
I was doing my job, but nobody could still touch me. They were scared that I was PS daughter.
Yeah. And so it's part of the shielding. You know, what I think we should not gloss over is the fact that the kind of buffer that environment gives us is important in the healing process.
Yes.
Because whereas you say that it's your mother's story, you are a living story too.
That's right.
A living chapter of that story.
That's right.
Yeah. So in which case, if you didn't turn out good, that story will keep making her heart bleed.
But I will say that sometimes when you think you have no one, or when you are in the knowledge, the true fact that you have no one, the only person you turn to is still God.
That is why I said,
so
you get that.
And in that, till tomorrow, I still feel that I have no one except God. That people will disappoint you, but God will not disappoint you. By so doing, I always ask for direction and helpers from everywhere in the world. And unconsciously, God was answering, I didn't know. People were just coming my way. I was just acting up, and they were giving me protection.
All right. Talk about acting up. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, we'll talk about your acting career, your singing career, and your academic career. Please stay tuned. You're welcome back. Helen Paul is still my guest on this edition of Timeless Conversations. And you were talking about being prayerful. Since when did you have that consciousness to ask God for help?
Since being a child from Mama.
Okay.
Because I remember then, Mama would tell me to sleep on time, that she can wake me up anytime for prayers. But I know what she used to do then was to wake me up in the middle of the night, pet me and tell me would I take tea or would I take biscuits. And that time we used to call it Eruko Shudi. She would do the chocolate tea like she can, and I would drink. And she would tell me, am I okay? I say yes. She would tell me to take water and wash my face into a bowl. I will. Then she would sit me down on the bed, put water in a bowl, and then she would sit and begin to pray. Then, in the course of praying, she would say, do I have anything to ask God? And I'll say, yes, I want to pass my exam. She'll say, okay, you will pass your exam will do well, your teachers will like you, everybody will like you, they won't know why they are like you, but they will just like you because you carry a lidua in your heart and all of that. Then after she will ask again, what else? I'll tell her, and she will say, okay, you will buy car when you grow up, you will buy more than enough car, you will buy for me, you will buy for your mother, you will buy for your aunties, even though some of them are not good, she will say it, and she will say it. And she will say, okay, what else do you want? Then after everything, then she will tell me to bend my head, then she will just use the water and wash my head and pray for me. But that does not mean in the morning we should not still fight though.
You will. You will.
She will still fight me.
There's a time for everything. You will.
She will still fight me, you know.
So that strengthens
That strengthened me, and she was always, I believe so much in the power of confession. Whatever you want to happen to you, you say it. Like I taught my children my style too. I won't talk to anybody until I say, Father, I thank you for waking me up this morning. I thank God because all things are working together for my good. Even when they move evil plans, it works for my good. Everyone in the world is under your instructions and authority. Let all things work together for my good. Amen. So I taught my children. So sometimes confession too works. What you say to yourself, don't let any situation weigh you down to the point that you begin to say, oh, Nigeria is no good. If you are confessing that for yourself, it won't be good, because the word of God says that when there's a casting down, you will be shouting, there's a lifting.
Yes.
You know, and the word of God so says that 1,000 will fall at your right, 10,000 at your left, but they will not come near you. So some people are still
only
doing
with
well.
Your eyes will you
see?
Yes.
But you will not be part of it. You know, so it still works wonders.
Okay.
So when you believe that is abroad, you will make it. Then, if they are denying you visa, is your belief now that we have to pray that you get your visa, because it will not work for you. But if you believe that anywhere I go,
I'll make it.
I would make it,
Yeah.
then you will make it.
Yeah.
So it's according to your belief.
All right.
So let's guard your heart with all diligence.
So let's go into your acting career.
Yes, sir.
You started from Real Mix,
Yes.
actually.
Yes, as a voiceover actor.
As a voiceover artist, voiceover actress. And those things that inspired you were things from your childhood.
Yes, and I'll say general observation of the society from the childhood there, yeah, to when I got into Real Mix Studios. I didn't even know that was a gift. I just knew that, oh, I would like to be an actor or an investigator. I like to find out things, though like I'm not saying it, but I'm actually observing. I enjoy playing the role of a fool, like I don't know. I enjoy calling everybody auntie, but it helps me to see well, you know. I enjoy role playing. Then when I go into Real Mix Studios, the people there really helped me in understanding it to be a career and putting me through on how to go about it. Uncle Diron taught me the negotiation part without even knowing that he was teaching me negotiations. When Uncle Diron can negotiate anything.
Yes, he can.
Once you remember him.
He's my friend.
Once you bring any contract and you tell Uncle Diron Lajoyegbe that you don't think the man will pay that amount, Uncle Diron just hold your shoulder and say, don't worry. Oh, my son, let's talk. Then in my presence, they'll be discussing. Like, no, we can manage your cost. The production, but really, it's not supposed to even be up to that too. If we take out costume, which is not necessary, you can use this, you can use that. Before you know, the contract has got into the company's side. I'm like, okay. Then I also learned negotiation from Paul Ogunlade, who was also managing the studios then. Uncle Diron appointed Mr. Paul Ogunlade.
I know him.
He has a very calm way of making you still pay for what you didn't want to pay for. He will tell you, no, why? This thing is important. This is the best studio. In fact, Onyeka Wenu just left 4 minutes ago, and I'm asking myself as the receptionist, she didn't come here today. She came here last month, you know. He just has a very calm way. So I was learning styles of marketing, negotiations. Ayuadefe, in making sure that you are happy with your job, how to manage people. Then I started going to a church called King's Word, where I learned, I was told I have to join the foundation class, join the leadership class. So I learned about temperaments, I learned about how to excel in being a leader. So I learned in so many ways at the same time. But thinking back, I was learning too many things at the same time. It was just happening to me back to back. But I must say that I still give kudos to Ayuadefe. Because each time we have a job and some people say, oh, how do we get back up? We say, Helen can do it. And I'm asking, what am I doing exactly? So no, don't worry, I'll direct you. You have the voice. So having the right people to identify your gift too, and not offing the lights, but helping you bring out the light. You know, so I had, sir, your company was full with the right people. I won't lie to you.
Lagos State Radio Service.
But you were the boss.
Yeah, well, I was
You
doing
were
my
the
job.
you were the boss. You gave us the power to, you know, even your son was always around us too, and he had so much gift within him that they will all just do. Then you didn't make the most, like now that we have most company making things very hostile. You made the environments, let the teenagers come. Look for radio programs and give them too.
Because that's the way to go.
And that was what
That's
you were
the right
doing.
way to
Yeah,
go.
so sometimes they would just call me on radio and I would just present.
Yeah, we had quite a lot of young people at that
Yes,
time.
yes. Then you always allow all the IT from different schools to come
come in,
around.
yes.
Yeah, sometimes you will say, okay, let's pick 10 people who are very fantastic to stay back.
Mhm.
They can be going and be coming back. So
Yes.
that really helped all of us to grow, including me.
Well, thank God. So that's how it started.
That's how it started. Then Tunji Oyewo
Mhm.
got me into University of Lagos from the reception table. Tunji Oyewo also was one of our workers working
Yes.
for Kudiron Lajoye.
Yeah, I know
boss.
Tunji. You know, I know
Yes.
everybody.
All
that
of us.
works
We have all grown
with,
now. We have all grown now. So,
But why did you go to study theater?
Tunji.
Okay.
Tunji came to me and said, you're already getting popular. We need to have you a good profile. So when they even write about you in the newspaper, Helen, let's have that you went to school.
I just found that you were not there again. Where is she? Oh, she's gone to school. School. Okay, okay, that's a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Yeah.
You know, so what happened was Tunji got me into Unilag. And the first time I went to school to do my registration, I saw a group of people dancing, rehearsing. And I was like, wow, this is good. I saw a group called the Shegun Adefila's group, Crown Troop. I saw a group by my lecturer now in University of Kentucky, Dr. Otsun Rashid. It was rehearsing with a group, and I observed them. Then I went close. I heard them saying, the next rehearsal is tomorrow by 5 p.m. or can you call p.m.? I said, okay. So I recorded. So the 5 p.m., I didn't go to work. I left a choreo mix around 4:30 and 4. I got to the rehearsal. I wasn't close. I stayed far, observing. Then they said Saturday, Sunday, I was there. So by the fourth time, the someone that was supposed to play a role
Wasn't available.
wasn't available. And he was worried. The production is next week, Tuesday. How do you do that? And I said, sir, I can do it. Is it not that lady that played the younger sister of this auntie? And the man said, okay, what did you do? I said, I've been coming, sir. I saw the first rehearsal. I saw this is what she said. And I said the lines. And the man just said, what department are you? I said, I'm in year 1. University of Lagos. He said, you are welcome. This is University of Lagos. That's my department. The same way I spoke to you the first time.
Yeah.
The same thing. And he said, look, I was going to play the role. So I played the role. And after playing the role, he said their budget is not much. They will give me small money. I said, anything, I'm happy. And the man said, I'm going to mentor you in this department. I said, yeah. I said, I'm your lecturer too. I said, ha! I said, I will be teaching you introduction to something art. Okay. So that was my first meeting. Then I remember then an actor gave me a number when I told her that, Ma, I'm now in University of Lagos. I won't be coming to Unilag again. He said, go and meet a lecturer in that department called Tunji Shotimiri.
Yes.
So, yes. So I went to meet Tunji Shotimiri. I said, from this, and Dr. Tunji Shotimiri said, that's not a problem. You are in this department. Give me your name. Update your matric number. I gave him. Okay, make sure you check me here every time. So I was mentored by him too. And that period, they played a very great role. Then before I knew it, all my lecturer knew Helen Paul. And I was also very playful, noisy, troublesome.
I don't think you were troublesome.
And for my
go
mates,
ahead.
they felt I was troublesome because of the way I talked to lecturers freely. I was just being myself. I had the boldness to just go, sir, I want to see you.
He's mama now.
Yes, some people misinterpreted it like, Oti Beju, you are doing too much. But I was just being too free. And
Instead of being
expressive.
forward.
Yes, I was just being free and being expressive as it is in my mind, I said. And when I got to my 400 level, I just discovered that my dean then, Dean of Arts, in person of Professor Duro Oni,
yes.
became interested in the girl.
Yeah.
You know, my music lecturers became interested in the girl. They're still my mentors till tomorrow.
Yeah.
My senior professor, Osita Ezewanibe, Professor Felix Omorua, Professor Makinwa, Professor Laiwola, were interested in the Helen.
They're all very good people.
They are very good. Like
Very
I said,
good
God gave me the right people. Until the day that I think I'm done with the school, they still check up. What are you doing? Hope you are publishing. If you are not publishing, it was the essence of your PhD.
Yeah.
You have to write, and there's a publication. There's one particular man, I think Professor Dr. Ajewole, like, you need to there's a publication now happening in University of Ibadan. They say you can pick on from your excerpt and boost it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will do it. You know, Professor Sheyi Kenny, Helen, we are having concert, you have to come. You know, so I still have mentors.
So you were in virtual demand.
Yes, just the same way. After many years, I left the station. I can still come to your office, even when you left Eco LTV8.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
Eco FM.
FM
You got promoted to LTV8, and you became the permanent.
I got posted there.
Posted, okay. You were still the permanent secretary again at
yes.
LTV8.
Yes.
I still had access. I still came freely to say, so sir, now I want to get married. I need all. Can you remember the way I told you?
Yes, I do. I remember.
And you said, okay, so which of the all do you need? I said, I need all the alls.
Yeah.
He said, so which one and which one? I said, I want to use the real mix for my church wedding.
Yeah.
I want to use this up for my reception.
Yes.
And he said, okay. And so that's it. Go and call me Mr. Kiddy. Call me Mr.
Lanio.
I can't even remember.
Mr. Lanio.
And they all came. Yes, sir. Yes, I said, she wants to use downstairs for church.
Yeah.
Upstairs. Say, how much? How much? Okay. You have money to pay. I said, I don't have money to pay. And that was it.
Yes.
You know? So when all the family came, they felt, she has one Baba Isale. For her to use LTV8. So publicly, I must say a big thank you, sir.
Oh.
So that was it. And that's how I got into then my first major acting job where I collected dollars. And I was like, wow, was Tunji Shotimeri. Said it to the year 4 students. Then I was in year 3. He said to them that there's an audition somewhere, that there's a station that is now a cable station. Then it was DSTV Africa Magic. Some of their first productions then. Said he wants all the 400 students to go for that audition. So when I heard, I joined our friend. I said, me, I'm following. He said, they said 400. So I said, I'm not doing anything. It's just to follow people to see.
Yes, now what is there?
What is there? So when we got into the bus, I told one of my friends there, he's a big actor now, Kachi. I said, you will lap me. Kachi said, why? I said, I don't have transport now. I just have to follow you. So Kachi lapped me to the interview place in Ilupeju.
Yeah.
On getting there, they said they are not interviewing any adults now. They are interviewing teenagers and children.
Oh.
So I just heard them.
You brought on the magic.
Baba, I just heard, if you are from ages 10 to 17, come inside. I just stood up from Kachi's lap and I joined them.
Hold it. Because that looks very, very interesting. We'll take a short break now. I'll be back with Helen Paul on Monitor.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. You're welcome back. So Helen, they called ages 10 to 17.
And I joined them.
Really?
And they gave all of us the scripts. So we read the script. I heard of children's tone. I just said, oh, I have to match up this tone. So I read in the same tone they were all using. And the next thing they just said, everybody should go out. They would read out, that you will receive a mail. You know, something. So the next thing I saw a mail, please stay behind. And I just saw some children crying, some parents telling them, don't worry, next time. I just saw stay behind. So I stayed. I was still waiting for all my friends. So when they did the adults audition, they also told them the same thing. We will get back to you. You will receive a mail. So I discovered that all of them that I followed did not receive a mail. So when they said we were going home, I didn't know how to tell them. They told me to stay behind you. You know, they told me to stay behind. And they didn't tell anybody that I escorted, the people that have the right to gangan. So I entered the bus from Ilupeju. As we were getting to Nepman, I screamed, "Yeah, I forgot my book, I forgot." They all said they can't go back. Oh, no, they can't go back, they can't go back. Lie. That's because they have a class. So I'm 5 days stroke Ikpodu. Okay. So I just came down to Nepman, went through the back, inside the street, went back to my Ilupeju. That was when they were calling Helen Paul. I said, "I'm here." So I entered. Femi Odugbemi interviewed us and told us that they would need our parents to come and sign contracts. I said my uncle had to leave. So when they said my parents had to, I started looking for uncle that would sign paper. So I went to one of my classmates, Joaba Mission Kuni Ibikon.
That's another process of acting.
Baba, we went there, the uncle signed, put my account number. When the job came, I remember, I can never forget. I gave my friend 10,000. My friend was very grateful, like, opportunities like this. I said, "Oh man, Wali, man, worry, you will see more." So when we were going for the shooting in Ikorodu, he was the one that followed me there to hand me over to Shege Shomolu.
Your uncle.
So my classmate was my uncle, still my friend. So that one followed me, handed me over to Shege Shomolu, and Shege Shomolu, I said, "Okay." So when we started acting, the way the children were doing was totally different from me. I was already 20-something, so I was still composed. And Shege Shomolu called me one day. I said, "Sorry, I want to ask you a question." I said, Shege Shomolu said, "How old are you?" I said, "Why, sir? Am I not doing it well?" He said, "You're doing it well, but please tell me the truth. How old are you?" My director, Shege Shomolu, anywhere you are. Shege! I said, "Sir, did I do anything wrong?" He said, "No." I said, "My acting age or my real age?" He laughed. He said, "So you have an acting age?" I said, "Yes, as an actor, you should have an acting age. You know what you look like, and you should have your real age." So I told Shege the two, and he said, "Your behavior is different. You're too mature. Your takes are not much. 2-3 takes, you're already good. I'm not having, I don't have to correct much, but you're doing it well. Well done. Well done." So who was that guy that came? I said, "It's my friend." He laughed. He said, okay. And that was it. So I did the job. It was good. Fantastic director, and I got my good bola, and I was very happy. Then
you mean
for
your
school,
good payment?
My good bola, that's payments.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I got good payments, and my first dollars. I was very happy. Then I remember that in school, I had teachers that were like, "You need to do masters," especially my supervisor. "You need to do your masters because you're already in the field. We don't even have much people in the field studying for all these things. I want you to be a representation of this." And with the help of Professor Osita Ezewanibe, Professor, I think Professor Tunji Shotimiri.
The person they were mimicking.
Yes. All my lecturers, to me, were helpful.
Yes.
Till my PhD level. Then I started doing MCing, outing, meeting some VCs of other schools. They were like, "You are good on this field, you are good here, you are good there." And that led me to doing other masters.
So you did different levels of master studies. And eventually the PhD.
Yes, sir.
The PhD, I must say, was a game changer. Yeah, game changer because it's something you went in for.
Yes.
And it redefined the brand of Helen Paul.
Thank you, sir. But I'm still a comedian, sir.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, sir.
Right, you're still a comedian.
Because that PhD, at a point, people didn't want to call me for job picking.
No, because they thought you were going to change. So why didn't you change?
Sir, there's money in that one too.
Yeah, okay, we'll talk about it. A short break, please, a short break. Yeah, we were saying something about, I told you that for me, the PhD was a game changer. It redefined the brand Helen Paul. It polished the brand Helen Paul, right? It showed that there's nowhere you want to get that you can't get.
That's right.
And you felt like it almost cost you money.
Not just money, sir. Some people, Ashebi, you are now a doctor. We cannot call you for our wedding. Call me. I'm still very, very local. Your car is is that what you want? Any part you want. If it's corporate, I'm there. If you want me to be RAS, I am there. I got trained, you know. Yeah. So, but glory be to God, the Creator. For people like you and say, Helen, just keep running. Don't stop. Yeah. You know, but it has really helped you in times of profiling, but keep doing. And thank you to all my mentors. Thank you to you, sir. Thank you to everybody.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
You have reached a point now where you have become a good reference point.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, a very good reference point. You are a professor in a university in the United States.
I also lecture here.
Yeah, that wasn't part of your dream, actually. Your dream was just to buy a motor car.
Not even just
that
to
was
buy a motor car.
Mama.
Yeah, not even just to buy a motor car. My dream was just to have money. So I didn't know. Then to study so that that word that they used to say, like I won't get to the tap if I fetch water.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was deep.
Yes, I won't get to finish school.
They were saying something worse than that.
Just what I'm saying.
They were saying something worse than that. I say,
yeah, I know. So now, I'm now the
So all of that, you used it to propel yourself.
Yes, the best revenge is to be successful. It's not to sit down and be crying and thinking about the words. It's what's the way forward? How do I give good success?
So all those who tried to show you the other side of assistance in propelling you to what you have become now, I hope you help them.
Yes, I say...
You give back.
Yes,
I
give back.
I didn't say payback.
Some people want payback without knowing that they want payback.
Yeah.
Like they keep telling people, there's something about waiting period.
Yes.
You know, it might look like the person is already famous, but might not have the money.
Yeah.
So that good that you've done that period, you can also destroy it when you don't know the waiting period. You know, when you keep doing your announcements yourself. So the child just feels that, okay, at this point, what do you want? I can pay you off. But there are some that becomes family.
Yeah.
They don't have to be necessarily blood, or they are family. There's no time they're having their birthday. Your presence alone tells people that they are honored. The way you talk to them shows that they are honored. So most people don't want honor. They want payback. They don't want honor. You can't. So most people don't know the definition of when, you know, we are going somewhere. You see money and you see honor. Yeah. Most people want that money. You are now rich. They so sit down and create that, come, I want to pay my rent. I have helped you before. At least now you should be able to help me pay my rent. Right. Everything is 350. Yeah. If I'm able to do it, if it's 150, I will do it. At that point, I'm already paying back because the way you are asking is totally different. So unlike somebody like you, who would always drop food for me when I was working as a receptionist, who I went to say my wedding, I need all the oil in the Co-FM, without even thinking twice, that you gave everything to me, who has never called me to say, Ellen, how are you? Oh yeah, post me, it's my birthday. Some people do it. Ellen, I'm celebrating 60. Oh yeah, celebrate me, oh. Whoa. Yes, they do that to me. No. Or Ellen, I know Ellen now. We've helped her before. Yeah, Ellen, go and do MC free of charge for just a person. And you're like, Holy Spirit, I need power. I need you to please give me the power to reply, not to speak anyhow. Give me the power because this is set up. In Yoruba, they call them Ogun. What do they call it? My mother used to give me that prayer. Amunideshe. The people that make you commit sin. Tafeda. So at that point, I'll just say, okay, yes, sir. I will be there, sir. Then sometimes maybe a bigger gig comes up, and I'm like, sir, something had already come up. I don't know what to do, but sir, please, can you help? Can I get you another MC? I don't mind paying maybe 250. You know, yeah, 250. What's it you now? So I'm like, sir, normally going 1 million more, sir. Hey, 1 year, you are our own now. Can you remember that time we helped you? I'm like, okay, sir, no problem. So, but I want to give this person 250. What do you think? Send it to my account. I will get somebody else. So I settled that. And immediately I settled that, I'm asking God for forgiveness because, God, you give me the power to block or avoid this call, or help this person to just forget me.
Are you not giving away trade secrets now?
At this time, I'm not kukuma at home. You can't tell me to fly down from America to come and do free MC.
Yes.
If you call me, even if I'm in Nigeria, daddy me would see around me. But if it's 100,000, I can contribute. I will contribute. If it's 10,000, I will.
Yes.
You know. But there are some people that I will forever honor. A waiting period.
Yeah.
When that time comes.
I understand that.
Yes.
I understand.
If I'm very big now, like the person I'm looking at, targeting now to be in his league.
Who?
I don't want him to know, so he will not see me coming.
So don't say
He's one of these big guys.
Okay.
You know?
You tell me off camera.
His name starts with O.
Oh, okay. I think I have an idea.
Do you understand? He has a T in his name. That kind of thing.
I think I have an idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the people I'm looking at, that guy that has refinery. Why should only him? I have refinery. Those are my targets, not...
Okay. I know you will not forget me when you reach there.
Sir, you will not even forget me because you will never go low. You are the ones that will recommend.
Now, which of the genres are you most comfortable in? The voiceover, acting, you know, the regular acting,
still under acting,
the teaching.
It's still under acting.
Well.
Yes, because it's still theater I do.
But you're in that way. You're in that way. You're sharing knowledge.
Yes.
Right. And then, of course, emceeing.
So let me don't stress you. Entertainment in general is my strength.
Okay.
Lecturing is good, but when we're looking at the financial part of it, it's not as robust as the entertainment.
Yeah, but it's good for retirement in future.
It's good for job security and for future.
Yeah.
You have retirement plans, you have health insurance, you have, you know, tax returns from it, you have some things are sorted to a large extent, you know. But for the acting at the moment, it's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoy all.
As a woman,
yes,
how do you balance this your very busy schedule?
Because I'm at home, I'm a baby. Outside, I'm an adult.
Really?
Yes, when I'm at home, I'm the child.
Is that what he does?
Yes, now, if he's still eating, I still want meat.
Why are you changing your voice to a child's voice?
I still cut, but it's not changing, it's a gift. Now, say God has given me, shall we enjoy
it? See, you did something that was like about, how many years ago? It would be like about 12 or 14 years ago, 12 years ago. That childlike impersonation.
I still do.
No. I want to remind you of the particular one.
12 years.
Not available.
The number you are trying to call
is not available.
That's 14 years ago.
Yeah.
The number you are trying to call is not available at the moment.
You know,
please try again later. Daleru.
You know, you started with
me. I was sitting down on my own when my mommy brought money.
You know,
and my mom said, go and call your daddy. And when I went to call my daddy, the number was wingy. The first time, daddy did not pick it. He wingy again. Daddy did not pick it. When daddy number now pick, somebody now pick it. It is a woman. No. The woman now said, the number you are trying to call is not available at the moment.
Yes.
Please try again later. But I did not tell my mommy everything the woman said. When I got home, I told my mommy, Mommy, daddy is not picking the phone. It is a woman. My mommy started jumping. Baba Iti baby, your father is cheating on me. Your father is cheating on me. Oh, he will hear today when my daddy. My mommy said, you are a liar. You are a liar. That's why your Philomena now came. What happened? What say? What happened? The next thing, your Philomena now turned to me. What happened? What did the woman say? And I said that the woman said that the number you are trying to call is not available at the moment. Please try again data. Yeah, Philomena, is it my fault?
Yes,
And people said, no, it's not your fault. That was done at RCCG headquarters.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was fantastic.
Thank you,
And
sir.
I know that it's not anything but raw talent that brings that out.
Thank you.
Okay? And passion and the capacity to switch from character
voice to
to
another
the
character.
other, you understand
Yes.
me? Right. And in the future, what do you think you'd like to be doing in the future?
Enjoying God's plan, one. At that point, I won't mind going outing with my boys. They're now big and looking like their girlfriend. Going out with them, mentoring them, making sure that I follow up by God's grace, and also running in a university, any university, just to give back to the society at large.
Oh, you plan to establish one then? That's what you're saying? Or work with others to set up one or what?
Well, I know growing up, training under you, I've learned some things like...
Stop referring to me.
Yeah, my mentor, sir. So I've learned some things from you. Like I said, we hope for the best because God's plan is the best. But I still hope to be in the education sector
fantastic,
and still hope to be maybe like a consultant for television stations, radio stations, newspaper outlets. I love this job because you don't have a retirement time.
No, you really don't have.
You just keep working. So that's the plan.
All right. Thank you so much, Helen.
Thank you so much
It's been
for
nice
having
having
me.
you with
Thank
us.
you so much,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you.
Helen Paul has been my guest on today's edition of Timeless Conversations. I hope you enjoyed it. I had great fun talking to her. It brought back very good memories. And until next time, take good care of yourselves. Bye.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
And on Plus TV News now tonight. Federal government dismisses Tigran Gamayan's false allegations, says Binance offered $5 million payment. Also ousted Speaker Mudashiru Obasa Sue's State Assembly. And lastly, hostages released in ceasefire exchange. And a warm good evening and welcome. I'm Emmanuel Ulubobokwan. This is News Now. The federal government has now dismissed claims by Tigran Gambaryan, Binance's head of financial crime, who spent 8 months in a Nigerian detention facility over alleged corruption. Gambaryan, a U.S. citizen, was recently tried in Nigeria for financial crimes and was released after intervention by the U.S. government. He claimed his unlawful arrest led to Biden avoiding a meeting with President Bola Tinubu during the 2024 United Nations General Assembly. The government urged the public to disregard allegations and rejected Binance's offer of a $5 million down payment in exchange for Gambaryan's freedom. Gambaryan's initial visit to Nigeria was discretionary and also not sanctioned by any government entity. The House of Representatives has now pledged to protect Nigeria's interests and ensure transparency in the ongoing probe of bribery allegations against some of its members. An executive of Binance, Tigran Gambaryan, claimed that some members asked for a $150 million bribe during the impasse between the crypto platform and the federal government. The Nigerian authorities have dismissed this claim as the House of Representatives spokesman, Akin Rotimi Jr., stated that allegations are directed at individual members, not the institution itself. They also refrained from further comment in line with established parliamentary, judicial, and diplomatic principles. Moreover, the Binance executive, Tigran Gambaryan, has defended his $150 million bribery allegation against Nigerian lawmakers Philip Agbese, Ginger Onwusibe, and Peter Akpaki as factual. The lawmakers demanded the bribe to prevent Gambaryan's arrest and prosecution over money laundering allegations. However, the lawmakers and the federal government dismissed the claim as Gambaryan defended his claims, citing personal experiences and conversations with those with direct knowledge of the event. He urged those serving in the U.S. and Nigeria to find peace and leave the situation behind, expressing his pain and disappointment at being dragged through court on outrageous charges. Moving on, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has denied claims in a viral video that its premium motor spirit PMS lasts as long as that from Dangote Refinery. The company defended the claim as misleading, false, baseless, and unfounded. The video showed the content creator claiming to have bought a litre of Dangote petrol at MRS filling station in Alakpere, Lagos at 925 naira, and the same litre at an NPCL in Ojudubega at 945 naira. The fuel lasted 33 minutes longer in generators running on an NPCL fuel. The company has emphasized that a significant percentage of fuel sold at its filling station was sourced from Dangote Refinery. The company will not tolerate misinformation and will take legal action against individuals or groups spreading falsehoods about its brand and operations. Moving on, the former Speaker Mudashiru Obasa has filed a lawsuit against the Lagos State High Court and the new Speaker Mojisola Miranda, challenging the legality of his removal from office. Obasa claims that his colleagues unlawfully removed him while the Assembly was on recess. The suit seeks a court declaration that the Assembly's current leadership violates applicable laws and rules. Obasa argues that the courts must urgently determine the legality of the Assembly's current leadership and has inherent powers to grant expedited hearings and impose time limitations. Obasa was impeached on January 13, 2025, while out of the country, and his deputy, Mojisola Miranda, was immediately elected as the new Speaker. Now, at a Southwest Regional Meeting, an open government partnership in Akure, Ondo State Capital, Osun, and the state government and non-state actors reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening the concept. The meeting, facilitated by the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, was attended by top government officials and civil society leaders. The actors presented reports on OGP progress and also pledged to improve service delivery to the people.
The essence of this meeting is to bring states in the Southwest region who have signed up to the OGP and have a functional state action plan to come and share lessons and learnings from implementing the OGP. So it's a form of peer learning and shared learning for state to see, oh, what are we doing well? What are the challenges we've encountered? How are we going to command those challenges? And generally, what are the updates on the performance of our action plan, so we can learn from one another.
And so the advent of OGP made the issue of transparency, accountability an easy one. Currently, we have our website where we publish the state budget, annual budget, and there are tracking tools to evaluate all these budget performances. Now, inclusivity, CSOs are always included in most of the budget preparation processes, and good enough, the citizens' participation is guaranteed because inputs are being sought from the 3 senatorial districts of Ondo State.
But as a state, it is not that we are being forced to be open, to be transparent. And in terms of the thematic areas that we keyed into as a state, we look at those very critical issues, very critical areas that will make a state to be truly open. And that was why we keyed into fiscal transparency and civic engagement.
In the preparation of budgets, we have to engage the people to know what they actually want, put it in the budget, and to see how far we are able to implement, that is, provide those things they requested for from the government. And so in Osun State, we are engaging the people in the budgeting processing. At the same time, we are talking of a feedback strategy. We have a very functional website whereby we used to post all the activities of the government for the whole world to check.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Ekiti State is urging the National Secretariat to restore discipline and order within its ranks during our reconciliation meeting. Caretaker Chairman Daria Adeleke believes our reconciliation effort will strengthen the party for future elections. Many loyalists argue that the lack of discipline within the PDP has contributed to the struggles and urge the national leadership to enforce the party's constitution and impose sanctions on members who violate internal regulations.
I wanted to be two places at the same time, and even renouncing the APC as a prominent leader. We were having that, and we are going to sanction them any moment from now. That's part of the stakeholder. We will not miss our words. Whoever that is working against the party, irrespective of your personality, whoever you are, we will not spare you. We will make sure that we eat you with a stick of discipline.
The former governor of Osun State was expelled from the party. We are expecting the same thing. Because where there's no discipline, then nothing can move. So our leaders at the national, they need to act. Nobody is above the law of the party.
We know what our problems are in Ekiti PDP. We are solving it. And I'm sure there's no unsurmountable problem in the PDP, as you can see now. Nobody will believe we'll have a meeting like this a few months ago. But we are rebuilding. We are working underneath, and you can see we are ready to really rebuild. And we are going to rebuild.
If we come together as one, you know, all the factions come together as one, because the government of the day are not doing well at all.
The Honorable Son of Kaduna State has welcomed 22 high-profile defectors from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Labour Party in southern Kaduna. The defectors, including former federal legislators, lawmakers, and opposition party flag bearers, joined the All Progressives Congress Party at a rally in Kafanchan. Sani stated that its administration is anchored on justice and is taking over southern Kaduna, which was once a PDP political enclave. He emphasized that politics should take the back seat after the election, while governance should take the center stage. Sani's focus is on peaceful coexistence for even development, and President Bola Tinubu is pleased with the progress in Kaduna State. Project Fairness 2027, a TIF social political group, has now urged the Benue people to shift their focus from brotherhood to the Zone C political bloc in 2027. The younger generation of the TIF dynasty, including 14 local government areas and 5 clans, claims that their Idoma brothers have not been given the opportunity to rule the state since the creation of Benue State in 1976. Publicity Director and also Coordinator Zone A, Comrade Stephen Tameshima, believes the Idoma nation has the capacity to lead the state. Comrade Eva Elizabeth Pado, and the Labour Lady Yo Felicia, who promised the champion women wing of the project also to extraction to support the Idoma brothers, who have been instrumental in the state's success, and expressed satisfaction that the Tiv people now understand the need for support. Of which the Idoma people in Benue State are actively seeking to secure the top political position in the state regardless of any political dispensation. Even though the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has now urged the National Assembly to enact stricter laws prohibiting large sums of money in polling areas to combat vote buying and other electoral malpractices. The Commission's Director of Litigation and Prosecution, Tamino Mohammed, emphasized the growing concern about vote buying, stating that unrestricted cash at polling stations compromises the integrity of the electoral process.
The issue of vote buying, as canvassed by ICPC, the National Assembly needs to enact specific legislation proscribing certain acts or prohibiting possession of certain amount of money within the polling area. Otherwise, as said, the politician always argue that, yes, we need to pay our party agents. So, sir, nobody should carry more than 50,000 around the.
Stakeholders, including the Ondo State Resident Electoral Commissioner and Inspector General, ably represented, supported this position, calling for increased funding for the police to combat unwholesome practices.
I think we should fix an amount of money that falls within the range of what you need, maybe to buy a bottle of drink and to transport yourself back to your house. I do not think, because people vote within their area. If you have 2,000 naira for transport and 1,000 for a drink and biscuits, I don't think anybody should possess more than 3,000 naira within the vicinity. 3,000 to 5,000, sir. Because most of the time, voting and accreditation is simultaneous. Voting and accreditation is simultaneous. So when you finish voting, most voters go back to their houses after voting.
In most cases, there have been issues of logistical challenges, you know, in terms of the vehicles, resources needed to move the men to where they're actually needed. And that's why you see we make use of rented vehicles from Road Transport Union a lot. But I want to believe if we have adequate patrol vehicles, apart from using the patrol vehicles for their normal duties when there are no elections, we can also make use of such patrol vehicles for deployment of the men as the case may be. To the best of my knowledge, sir, when we check the Electoral Acts, it is there. It is the INEC it is INEC officials that will say this person has committed an offense. Unlike the general norm where a police officer can arrest somebody he has seen committing an offense. But if the INEC official or the ad hoc staff there, if they have not said that, look, this person has done this, in most cases it's always very difficult. Then at the end of the day, even when the police effect the arrest, it is still INEC that will still prosecute. In codifying INEC's regulations, if INEC has said this, so the National Assembly should put it in the various laws and then we enforce it.
The joint session chairman assured that all issues raised will be addressed in the ongoing reforms by the National Assembly.
We are going to look at all these things so that we can streamline our laws to make sure it is easily implementable. And we now call back at the end of the day to let people know. We are going to improve on our awareness program. The political parties, INEC, civil societies, everybody must be involved in ensuring that we educate the people. Sometimes you talk to someone and talking about elections, say, no, the way we did it during NPN. Who is talking about NPN period now? We are talking about the new Act 2022 art is out of the way, we are going to have the 2025. Nobody should be talking about the 2022 again, droplets of NPN days. So people should know that when it comes to law, the newest edition is the only valid law. And that is how we can make sure that at least with such enlightenment at the grassroots, people really understand. And what happens if you violate some of these laws? Once people know, sometimes you know that, look, it's not worth it. I can't go to jail because I just want to help someone win election. And you know the consequence. Then at the end of the day, I think it will reduce the tendency for people to commit all these electoral offenses.
It is a known fact that when the Electoral Act of 2022 was made, the belief was that it was the best. But as soon as we put it to practice during the 2023 elections, we realized that there are still a lot of gaps that need to be filled. It is crucial to acknowledge the trust deficit in various parts of the country, particularly concerning security issues. These concerns include the protection of ballot boxes, the safe transfer of election results from polling units to collation centers, and manipulation of results, especially in riverine areas. I urge us to put our minds together and chart a way forward to strengthen our security through a robust electoral legal framework for the development of our democracy, ensuring the well-being of it.
The meeting organized by the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committees on Electoral Matters was supported by the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. Human rights group under the auspices of Iowa Youth Alliance for Progress and Development has called on federal government and international human rights organizations to investigate alleged human rights violations by Tantita Security Services in the Niger Delta region. The group accused the security outfit of engaging in illegal detentions, torture, and other human rights abuse, which contravene the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Addressing a press conference in Kaduna, the AYAPD's president, Ambassador Omar Babayaro, stated that the organization has received numerous reports and seen viral videos showing unlawful arrest, inhumane treatment, and detentions of Nigerian youth in the region. They cited the victims were detained in an unauthorized facility without the knowledge of Nigerian security agencies.
Recently, several complaints bordering on human rights violation and abuse in the Niger Delta region has reached us. These violations are coming in form of unlawful detention and arrest by the Tantita Security Services Limited, contracted by the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to secure pipeline in the region. It has come to our attention that the Tantita Security Services Limited now arrest innocent Nigerians at will, detain and torture them for as long as they wish. Victims arrested by the Tantita Security Services Limited are kept in detention and given inhuman treatment without being charged to any court of law as prescribed by the Constitution. As law-abiding youth of Nigeria, we do not want to believe that the pipeline surveillance contract gives impetus to the security company to arrogate arrest and detention power reserved only for the security apparatus of Nigeria.
The group stressed that private security contracts should not grant any entity the authority to unlawfully retain or mistreat citizens. They urged the federal government, international human rights organizations, and civil society groups to take immediate action to safeguard the rights of Nigerians and uphold the rule of law.
We are drawing the attention of the federal government to this abnormality. We call on the international organization to help protect the right of Nigerian youth spread across Nigeria, because if this situation is not investigated and arrested, youth living in the Niger Delta region will continue to suffer the inhuman and unconstitutional treatment meted out by the Tantita Security Services Limited. We hereby call on all state government and non-governmental organs, including international organizations, to look into this issue before they degenerate. Investigation into the activity of Tantita Security Services Limited be carried out as it relates to administration of criminal justice and protection of human rights. Steps be taken to secure the lives and property of youths and Nigerians living in the Niger Delta region of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. While we continue to trust that the government and all relevant organizations will take the necessary steps to addressing this matter fairly and uphold the integrity and supremacy of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Healthcare experts and NGO Ajisegiri are urging stakeholders to address the alarming 30% survival rate of children living with cancer in Nigeria, urging for increased government funding for early detection and treatment and increased awareness creation. District Governor Taiwo Fatoki of the Lions Club has emphasized the need for collective action to support pediatric cancer patients and their families.
Even when the diagnosis has been made, we still have this myths and beliefs, cultural beliefs that people around us have because of our African nature. Some people live in denial, some people prefer to go for herbs instead of the modern treatment. And then even those that agree to have treatment, supportive treatment is still lacking. I talked about some blood support, blood product transfusions like platelet transfusion, I talked about it, which is unavailable in many centers.
The understanding of childhood cancer is still very, very poor. And I know there are a lot of researches ongoing as to the cause and possible way of preventing them. But for now, if it cannot be prevented, the goal will be early detection and then curative as much as possible.
Pediatric cancer has always been an ongoing program, and every year, day in, day out, we do it. This year also, we've done it, and we are still continuing to do it. So, pediatric cancer is an ongoing project for the Lions Club International and in our district 404B4 Nigeria.
A question which explores the additional efforts that non-government organizations can undertake to assist parents and pediatric cancer patients.
There's so much that we need to begin to do now, primarily because when a child is diagnosed with cancer, probability of survival is very high, as against if you diagnose it in an adult. So probability of survival of an adult is very low, but probability of survival for children is extremely high. So it's a big gamut of work that we need to begin to look at. Then the peculiarity of sub-Saharan Africa and low-income countries like Nigeria presents another challenge. So it's big work when it comes to cancer care.
The children here to make donations and even gift them with toys so that they know that some people like the Lions care about children of the world, in particular those living with cancer. So this is a very big program for us.
Pediatric cancer, we are in the children's ward, and like we've always been doing, we'll continue to do more. And when we get back to Lagos, the district is going to look into their request and see how we can raise funds.
Now, Gambia has officially handed over the Memorandum of Understanding for the 3-year primary healthcare initiative to the Bayelsa State government. The handover ceremony was held in Yenagoa with written Primary Healthcare MOU Initiative, Progress and Way Forward. Signed by Governor Doyodori in partnership with Gavi and UNICEF, the MOU focused on strengthening immunization, maternal and child healthcare and disease prevention. This marks the successful closeout of the program, with stakeholders commended the progress made in improving healthcare services across the state. As over the past 3 years, the initiative has enhanced vaccine availability, trained healthcare workers, and improved access to quality medical care. Immunization coverage increased significantly, leading to a reduction in child mortality rates.
The prosperity government has premium from primary health care. Not only primary health care generally. And that is why the state government, in partnership with the local government, whose responsibility it is to provide primary health care, has not shied away from discharging its responsibilities. It is on that note, His Excellency the Deputy Governor asked me to appreciate all the critical stakeholders, particularly Gavi and UNICEF, for all the successes that you have recorded.
We want a situation where if we have a public health emergency, everybody goes to the primary healthcare facility. Therefore, like what is happening now with the cholera outbreak, we are in a state and we have not lost anybody in any of our primary healthcare facilities.
Support, partners, friends, politicians, well-meaning organizations that could just do CSRO, their corporate social responsibility, and also use that to fund healthcare. And I think if we do that and all of us understanding that extra bit of it, then would have said we'll make success and enroll more persons. Remember again, the more
Moving on, the Taraba State has now been recognized for a significant achievement under the Gavi-UNICEF partnership and in healthcare delivery, as the state is among 8 Nigerian states benefiting from the Memorandum of Understanding aiming to improve healthcare systems, particularly for mothers and children. Dr. Nozat Rafik, also Chief of UNICEF Bauchi Field Office, praised the Taraba State dedication to this cause. The partnership has resulted in 450 health facilities with additional highly trained human resources, ensuring better service delivery for the state's population.
This is one of the MOU that had been implemented in 8 states in Nigeria, and Taraba is one of the states under Bauchi Field Office along with Gombe. Taraba is one of the states, I'm very happy to say, who has done very well under this Gavi UNICEF state government of Taraba MOU as a tripartite MOU, and they have shown excellent results because of the commitment, leadership, and their commitment, leadership, and dedication to the cause of better health system for mothers and for children. One of the key things I would like to highlight is that Taraba has become one of the states in Nigeria, very few states, who have 0 dose, 0 children. Infrastructure has been improved a lot under this MOU. What we evidenced today, we saw facilities. Human resource has been induced more into the system, and you know that without human resource, no health system can operate optimally. So there has been 450 health facilities under this MOU who have extra human resource, and they are very well trained, they are capacitated, they are working within the facilities to support all the services like immunization, antenatal.
If you look at all the areas that this MOU covers, from the leadership, I will tell you, Taraba State, it has never, the leadership at the governance level, we've never had it so good until this MOU came on board. This MOU has brought a lot of good things for us, and we are looking forward as a state, how do we continue from where this MOU is ending? One, in our 2025 budget, through the federal government policy of this SWAP, sector-wide approach, this renewable health sector investment initiative, we're able to have for the first time developing the annual operational plan from the facility down to the local government and then down to states. It is there in the budget.
The Federal Capital Territory Minister, Nyesom Wike, has now been urged to avoid multiple taxation on small-scale traders. Abuja Municipal Buhari Federal Constituency members, Abike Chinedu and Ikenga Ugochinyere, call for harmonization of taxes to discourage businesses from closing and encourage job creation. Ugochinyere also urges Area Council chairman to review taxation models and encourage small businesses through tax rebate or reductions. Representative Chinwe Nabofe and Honorable Mohammed Jamilu also call for public and private partnerships to tackle unemployment and youth empowerment, as well as partnering with the government to address social issues and curb insecurity. The Nigerian Immigration Service, NIS, has issued a warning to public to avoid fraudulent recruitment advertisements on social media. The NIS stated that all recruitment exercises were transparent, free and merit-based, with vacancies advertised through the NIS website, official government channels and the national newspapers. The NIS has now drawn attention to the alarming increase in fake recruitment activities, and the Comptroller General, Kemi Nandab, has now been drawn to the issue. The NIS is working closely with authorities to apprehend those involved in these fraudulent activities and ensures the highest standards of integrity in all its operations. The CG urges the public to remain vigilant and refrain from patronizing fraudulent recruitment schemes. Now, Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has reported that over 11,553 underage candidates have registered for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Out of the expected 2 million candidates, 782,027 have been registered in the last 10 days. The registration process is expected to complete about half of the process in 2 weeks, with over 1 million expected by them. A system has now been introduced to identify and track underage candidates, helping to understand the issues and identify those who might be genuinely gifted but still underage. Despite technical challenges and delays, significant progress has now been made in the registrations, with the number of registered candidates increasing from 100,000 reaches 90,000 per day. President of Bache Cultural Development Association, BCDA, worldwide has called on Bache Nation and Plateau people to give Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang all the support he needs to serve the people. Art Ezekiel was speaking while thanking the governor for appointing one of them, Dr. Sunday Akwe, as a Commissioner for Livestock Development, Veterinary Services and Fisheries.
Congratulate all of you on your appointments. This is a call to duty, an opportunity to serve with distinction and leave a lasting impact on our state. Stay focused, remain dedicated, and let the spirit of excellence guide your actions.
We want to thank the governor, Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang, for this kind gesture that he has done to Kiche Nation. We appreciate him so much. We also equally hope that the person he has picked from among Bache people will live up to expectation. We have known him for his diligence, for his hard work, for his honesty and integrity. The state chairman of PDP is from Kiche land, and therefore my people are known for steadfastness, and therefore rest assured that we will give all the maximum cooperation to our son and the government he is serving.
It's a great and welcome opportunity, and I believe that I will do my best to enhance the achievement of all the policies that have to do with my assignment.
Moving on, the former presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has now called on family and the church of late Mrs. Bassey Ekeng Akinde to uphold the inspiring legacy of unity and compassion that she exemplified throughout her life. Obi made this call while speaking with journalists during the commendation service for late Mrs. Bassey Ekeng Akinde held at St. Jude's Church on Freeman Street in Butemeta, Lagos. Plus TV News correspondent Love Oyedekun tells us more in this report.
The service commenced with an opening hymn reverberating through the church, setting a tone of hope amidst sorrow. The atmosphere was heavy with emotion, yet a sense of warmth prevailed. The commendation service was a poignant occasion filled with stories, memories, and heartfelt tributes that reflected the remarkable life of a matriarch who touched the lives of many. The Reverend delivered an uplifting sermon emphasizing the importance of celebrating life and cherishing the memories of loved ones. He spoke of Madam Bassey's unwavering faith and her commitment to nurturing those around her, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of all who knew her.
The message is really for those of us who are still alive. The question attached to that: can we become sources of blessing, sources of refreshing to people around us, for even members of our families? If we are still struggling, pursuing vanity, let us learn from those who are dead.
Family members took turns sharing personal experiences that illuminated Madam Bassey's multifaceted personality.
I've known this family, Archbishop and the wife, several years, far before I became governor. I served with the Archbishop on board of 3 companies, and they've been a wonderful family. She's been a wonderful mother. I'm sure Almighty God have granted him eternal rest in his kingdom.
She had a large heart to bring people closer. You see, that's what the ministry requires. The ministry, that's what Jesus talks about: compassion, love, and all of this. Also, she exhibits that. She epitomizes all of that. And we thank God that, she was able to touch lives.
She was a loving mother of the diocese. It was very easy for her to smile, and her smile was very welcoming. She was passionate about issues of women and children.
Her son recounted how she instilled in them the values of kindness and charity.
My mom's a very, very loving woman, a very prayerful woman, a very warm woman, a very kind woman also. I think that, first and foremost, her prayers, her love for us will be very, very greatly missed. But that is actually something that we now, as her sons, need to carry on, working very, very closely with God, praying and committing all of our ways to God, and also teaching the next generation, just as our mother taught us.
It is evident that Madam Bassey had not only been a loving mother and wife, but also a formidable figure in the community and her church, advocating for positive change and fostering unity. Love Oyedoku, Plus TV News.
Still on the news, African Union Commission, Djibouti's foreign minister wins chairman race. And details when we return after this quick break. Stay with us.
An African girl somewhere is sitting at home, accompanied by dreams that seem so far away. Africa is one of the continents with the highest out-of-school percentage in education, and girls are at an early disadvantage. The sub-Saharan Africa records about 18 million out-of-school girls. This gender gap extends to the tech space with a projection of only a 33% global female workforce representation in tech firms for 2022. Let us help change the stories and numbers. Africa Agility's Project Train a Girl campaign is working to help train African girls in tech. You can donate as little as $2 or 2,000 naira to help a girl in tech get her heels in the door. Visit www.africaagility.rallyup.com/PTAG to donate.
This is it. I will take you through this amazing lesson today.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Bookie November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
And on to other parts of Africa. Now, Djibouti's Foreign Minister Mahmoud Yusuf has now been chosen as the new chairperson of the African Union Commission. He has won the race against Kenyan Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Malagasy Foreign Minister Richard Rajamandrato. Now, Yusuf aims to prioritize regional security, promote unity across Africa, and bridge linguistic and cultural divides. This victory is significant for Djibouti as it prepares to lead the African Union's efforts in addressing regional issues. A group of white South Africans gathered outside the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria to show support for President Donald Trump. The protesters carried signs regarding "Thank God for President Trump" and expressed concerns over racist policies by the South African government, which they claim discriminate against the white minority. Now, the organizer, Willem Pizza, emphasized that despite the South African government's foreign policy decisions for the past 2 decades, the West still has a friend in South Africa. Many of the protesters were from the Afrikaner community, which Trump had recently highlighted in an executive order aimed to cut aid to the black-led government. Now, the South African government has rejected claims that its new laws are racially motivated and accused Trump of spreading misinformation and distortion about the country's legal changes. Bukavu, a city in Uganda, is in turmoil as rebel groups M23 and AFC has now taken control of Kavumu Airport. The city has become quiet with no traffic or people in the streets. The 3 communes are deserted and only FARDC soldiers and local volunteers remain. Political leaders have disappeared and rumors suggest that M23 and AFC forces have liberated and the South Kivu region. The city is in chaos with widespread looting, mass displacement and growing fear as the local population awaits the next phase of the conflict. Also, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for the dialogue between warring parties in eastern Congo following the entry of Rwanda-backed M23 rebels into the provincial capital, Bukavu. The rebels have now been advancing south since capturing Goma, the region's largest city, last month. Leaders from Eastern, Southern African regional blocs host direct talks, but Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi has now refused to negotiate directly with M23. The AU Peace and Security Council held a closed-door meeting to discuss the crisis. Kigali is now denied backing M23, and President Paul Kagame has stated that Rwanda has nothing to do with Congo's problem. The United States has also warned of possible sanctions against both Rwanda and Congolese officials, while the European Union is considering using all available means to protect Congo. Moreover, the United Nations Secretary has now urged the international community to urgently support Sudan and lighten the ongoing humanitarian crisis. He emphasized the need for humanitarian aid and also the bravery of local responders and women-led organizations. Guterres also called for an end to the flow of weapons fueling the conflict and urged for peace during Ramadan. The United Nations will launch a $6 billion humanitarian plan next week to assist millions of Sudanese people and refugees in neighboring countries. Straight out of South Africa, 3 Israeli hostages, Leon On, Sergei Dekochen, and Alexander Chovanov, were released by Hamas militants in the southern Gaza Strip as part of a ceasefire deal as the men were abducted during the October 7 attack that sparked the ongoing conflict. They were paraded in Gaza before being handed over to the Red Cross and transported to Israel for medical care and reunion with their families. This marks the 6th exchange since the truce began in January. Moving on, Thailand's military has now announced that 260 individuals who were trafficked and forced to work in online scam centers will be repatriated after being rescued from Myanmar. This operation is part of a renewed crackdown on scam centers across Southeast Asia. Democratic Karen Benevolent Army, a Yemen ethnic militia, played a key role in their liberation and transport to the border. Now, Yemen, Cambodia, and Laos, which share borders with Thailand, are known for harboring criminal syndicates that have forced hundreds of thousands of people into participating in online scams. Up next of the news, CBN says ATM cash withdrawals with new policy will be beneficial to banks and customers. And that's in business news right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
And now to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has now introduced a policy imposing charges on cash withdrawal from automated teller machines, ATMs, owned by other banks. The policy aims to eliminate complaints of shortages at ATMs and help banks recover costs. Customers will no longer need to visit ATMs, and a minimum of 20,000 naira can be withdrawn at the bank's premises. The CBN also set a minimum of 20,000 naira for withdrawals in remote locations due to the cost of deploying machines. Customers withdrawing from ATM owned by other banks will now be charged 100 naira by every 20,000 naira. The free monthly withdrawals allowed for remote use on us customers will no longer apply. Starting March the 1st, 2025, banks and financial institutions will be required to apply these charges. And on to entertainment news, a woman who accused hip-hop stars Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of sexual assault in her at the age of 13 dropped a civil lawsuit. Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, was accused of raping the girl with Combs at a party following the MTV Video Music Awards in the year 2000. The lawsuit was voluntarily dismissed with prejudice, meaning the suit cannot be refiled. The 55-year-old billionaire welcomed the closure of the case, which is slammed as frivolous and fictitious. They are unappalling. Combs and Carter took turns assaulting a plaintiff, while another celebrity stood by and watched. Combs are separately been charged with sex trafficking and racketeering, alleging that he sexually abused women and coerced them into drug-filled sex parties using threats and violence. His criminal trial is slated to begin on May the 5th. And lastly, in sports news, where the 2025 edition of the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon, a 42-kilometer race, has now been dominated by East African runners from Kenya and Ethiopia. Kenyan Edwin Kibet won the men's category with a time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, 6 seconds, and in 50,000 naira, $50,000, I beg your pardon, in prize money. Kibet's second win in the competition, following his first victory in 2023 edition. Ethiopian Guta Meseret Ipa won the women's category with a time of 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 4 seconds. Now, Iyango Gian Bowie, the first Nigerian to finish the race, in the top 10 positions with a time of 2 hours, 25 minutes, 41 seconds, and 55 sub-seconds, which earning him a prize award of $4,000. Now, Boy also won the 2 million naira top prize in the Nigerian category. The race took place at Western Avenue and ended in front of Eco Atlantic City, Victoria Island. The event was awarded a gold label by the World Athletics in 2023, less than 8 years after its first edition. Still in sports, Arsenal, led by manager Mikel Arteta, secured a 2-0 win against Leicester, closing the gap on Premier League leaders Liverpool to 4 points. The Gunners faced a weakened attack with Kai Havertz out due to a hamstring injury. Now, the Leandro Trossard as their central striker. Ethan Nwaneri and also Raheem Sterling filled in on the flanks. Leicester were ideal opponents for Arteta's weekend team, and fans protested against the club's tie owners and Fox's director of football, John Rudkin. Now, Nwaneri's scroll sets up Arsenal's first sight of goal, and Arteta tried to rouse the team with an animated team talk. Indeed, he was close to breaking the deadlock, but Nwaneri's header by Ethan Merino eluded the Leicester defence. The victory keeps Arsenal firmly in the title chase. And on to the main news again. The federal government dismisses Tigray and Gabayan's false allegations, says Gabayan has offered $5 million payment. Ousted Speaker, Ministerial Bassa sues State Assembly. And lastly, on the headlines, hostages released in ceasefire exchange. And that's the news. Now, for more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. Upload to Africa Lifestyle. You can also view the Live Mix on livemix.tv and Glo TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Emmanuel Olubobokun, and thanks for watching.
Part of the financial commitment of Governor Dauda Lawal's administration towards transforming the health sector in Zamfara State shows the following statistics. Zamfara Contributory Pension Scheme, 1.1 billion naira. Yariman Bakura Specialist Hospital, 1.3 billion naira. Repairs and construction of new structures at Government Hospital Shintaki, 2 billion naira. Construction of a brand new hospital in Talata Mufra, 2.4 billion naira. Repairs and construction of new structures in Government Hospital, Anka, Kauran Namoda and Safi, 4 billion naira. Hospital Services Management Board, 4.5 billion naira. Establishment of zonal modern diagnostic centers, 5 billion naira. Primary Healthcare Development Agency, 7.3 billion naira. MFAD. It is a case of value for money in Zamfara's health sector transformation by government of Dr. Dauda Lawal.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Okay, I will take you through this amazing lesson today.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Okay, it's a brand new month and we are grateful to God for the gift of life and His grace. We look forward to an exciting engagement and conversation every week, believing that we are able to perpetrate a can-do culture mindset to help individuals and families stay above the difficult times that we're in.
Yes, I'm laughing. Difficult times indeed. Yes. And I dare say that we are not anywhere near seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. One of my guests here this morning will not accept that, mindset. But the week again brought Nigerians face to face with prospects of more hardships. The question is, where do we go from here? And how much more really can Nigerians endure?
Really, how much more can we endure? Well, the times are hard to say the least, but we must stay hopeful and find ways to keep going. And that's a decision that we all must make, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, on that note, let me welcome you to the Family Show, where we share experiences that motivate, inspire, and get you to think, achievement, and success. I am John Sanaya, and I'm grateful for your company, as usual.
Tough times never last, but tough people do. And are you among the tough bunch? I am one, and my name is Oma Helen Odeleye. Thanking you for making our time to be part of this conversation this weekend on your favorite family show today with John and Helen Live. And we are on Plus TV Africa. Okay,
so time to take our first break. And when we return, more on the lineup for today. Stay with us.
And we are back. If you just tuned in, you are very welcome. On the show today, we plan to unpack three critical and important issues. First is the topic, breaking down barriers, the power of the mindset. And an interesting individual with a wealth of experience across various domains, Ambassador Dr. Mrs. Uyeme Ivy King, will be doing us that honor.
I knew you would bongo her name. Uyeme.
Uyeme?
Yes.
Uyeme. Uyeme. Okay. Uyeme.
So when we are done learning how we can achieve the right mindset and the possibilities that come with it, we shall hand you over to Chizoba Mofegbu for the culture conversation. And today she'll be talking to a young and vibrant achiever.
Yes, she would be.
Great, yes.
And they say that if you have your freedom, you have everything. Today we shall take a peep into the other world where freedom has been denied a lot of people. Have you wondered what it is like in the prisons or any of the so-called correctional facilities that we have around? Barrister Oladele Ojogbede has a clear picture, and he will be joining the show at the appropriate time to look at prison to correctional facilities. What has changed?
Yeah, and I'm going to have to arrange a special class
for
names.
Cultural, for native.
For Nigerian names.
Nigerian names.
Helen?
Okay.
So there's been another fuel price increase, no discussion, and all of a sudden, Nigerians are buying fuel for 1K and above per liter. Helen, how are you coping? Let me start.
I am not coping at all.
Wow.
I am not coping at all.
Are you currently
No, I'm
with
not
us?
on that side of the divide again. I'm not coping at all. Seriously. Yes, seriously. And, you know...
Don't talk. Don't talk. Don't talk.
Okay.
I can see that you...
If you say so.
You know what happened to me? I got to the filling station. The queue wasn't too bad. I joined the queue. I drove into the station excited. That at least relief. So they said, "Oh God, how much do I said to fill the tank?" And I sat in I sat in the car with one eye on and the guy kept going. And before I knew it, he was at 35,000. And I said, "Wait a minute. Okay, how much is that?" He said that before we finished talking, it had reached 37.
All the
so I said, stop.
All the posing, you stopped at 30.
He said, stop. And then he stopped at 30.
No, this is not, it's not joke anymore. It's
Helen,
not joke anymore.
what are we going to
It's not joke anymore. 25 liters, even for your gen set at home, you can imagine how much.
Yeah.
And immediately, the rumors were there. The gas stations just increased, and the market people just increased, and the transport people just increased immediately.
Would it be a deliberate thing that they starved us so they can bring these new rates up? I don't know. That's what a lot of people are saying.
We are anxiously waiting for the NLC.
I can't cope
with
this.
And the student union have said, no, something has to give. Something has to give.
Wow, this is just over the limits. Anyhow, so
lives of the citizens of Nigeria must count.